Series. They're led by Andrea Harrison, who's hit 3. She hits 1 more. She's breaking the World Series record. And then slamming Sammy Caruso. She's had 2, but UCLA 1 through 9, anyone can hit it out of the park.
And those 8 home runs set a new women's college world record. And Michelle, they will be facing a freshman in the circle for Arizona, a local kid who shepherds their title hopes.
Yeah, and Kenzie Fowler has just been phenomenal this year, and she's really had a lot of work here in the Women's College World Series the last 2 days. Kenzie Fowler will throw a good rise ball and screwball. She's going to need to use her changeup, though, to keep those powerful UCLA bats off balance. We'll see if the local kid from Tucson can help bring home a national championship for Arizona.
It's a whole new generation. The 2 most storied programs in college softball history square off tonight for the 7th time with the national championship on the line. It's Arizona with 8 national titles taking on 10-time champion UCLA. Game 1 in a best of 3 from the Women's College World Series.
The end of the journey is near. 8 teams arrived in Oklahoma City with championship dreams. Tonight, only 2 remain. UCLA is synonymous with championships. As the world celebrates the life of legendary coach John Wooden, perhaps it is appropriate the Bruins are just 2 wins away from the school's 106th NCAA national title.
When you sign up to be a Bruin, when you commit to being a part of this Bruin tradition, you really create an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Championships are nothing new for Pac-10 rival Arizona. With their backs against the wall all postseason, the Wildcats' no-surrender attitude has Mike Candrea's team in position to capture their 9th championship.
We've had some moments that have brought us together as a team and as a family. And those moments have made us.
Softball's historic rivalry, Arizona versus UCLA, tonight for the national championship. Game 1, now.
Inside ASA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City for Game 1 of the finals. And tonight, one of the most intense college sports rivalries in the country. Think UConn-Tennessee basketball? Only bigger, with 18 combined national championships meeting in the finals for the 7th time. It's the 10-seed Arizona and the 5-seed UCLA. The winner gets the jump on the national championship in this best 2 of 3 series. We started with 8 teams on Thursday, and we are down to the final 2 standing with UCLA and Arizona. They met just a couple weeks ago to end the Pac-10 regular season. A couple of foes very familiar with one another and very familiar with the history of this great rivalry. The players that will be out on the field tonight grew up watching this rivalry. They dreamed of being a part of this rivalry, and tonight they get to play in it. I'm Beth Mullins, along with Olympic gold medalist Michelle Smith and Jessica Mendoza, and what a special moment for most of these players, the first time for them in a national championship.
Oh, yes, Beth, and this rivalry runs so deep. The last 20 years, these teams have played against each other for the biggest rivalry in college softball. Not only these players know that tradition, but they know each other so well, which makes this the most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that exacerbates that drought is the fact that both of these teams have been in a little bit of a drought. Arizona's last championship, 2007. UCLA, you have to go all the way back to 2004 since their last championship.
Certainly speaks to how successful they've been, that those would be considered droughts. And just when you think of all the great UCLA teams that have come here, this is the best hitting team with the power that they have ever brought here.
And that power is definitely shown, the long ball that they've had all year, but even more so here at the World Series. They've had 25 in the postseason, 8 home runs here alone. They're led by Andrea Harrison, who has 3. She hits 1 more. She is going to hold the World Series record and then slamming Sammy Caruso, hitting 2 home runs. But don't forget that any hitter in this Bruin lineup can hit the long ball.
They have set a Women's College World Series record with 8 home runs in their 3 games so far. And Michelle, when you think of the great stable of pitchers that they've had at Arizona over the years, the next one in line could be a freshman and a local kid from Tucson, Kenzie Fowler.
Yeah, Kenzie Fowler has just been phenomenal for Arizona. The local kid is looking to bring that championship home to Tucson. She throws a really good rise ball and screwball, but I think it's going to be her changeup that she's going to need to use effectively against the power of UCLA.
Game 1 of the championship series for a new generation of Bruins and Wildcats as they renew the game's greatest rivalry at the World Series.
The UCLA-Arizona rivalry, I mean, combining for 18 of the last 25 championships is unheard of.
I would compare it to Celtics, Lakers, Red Sox, Yankees. It's history. It's what's made softball.
Both programs expect to be here. We expect for it to be a great battle.
It's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be fun and exciting, and there's going to be, a lot of heart put into it.
Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, Game 1 of our best of 3 championship series with Arizona and UCLA. And let's meet the starting lineups for the University of Arizona.
Hi, I'm Mike Andrea, head coach, and these are the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down.
Hi, I'm Brittany Lestraps. I'm a junior, and I'm from Laguna Niguel, California.
Hi, I'm Lauren Chutzler, a junior from Monterey, California.
Hi, my name's Kaylee Arredondo. I'm a senior, and I'm from Tempe, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Stacey Chambers. I'm a junior, and I'm from Glendale, Arizona.
Hi, my name is Bridget Del Ponte. I'm a freshman from Peoria, Arizona.
Hi, my name is Lena Correa. I'm a sophomore, and I'm from Carson, California.
Hi, I'm Kristen Ariola. I'm a sophomore from Garden Grove, California.
Hi, my name is Bailey Kirker, and I'm a freshman from La Crescenta, California.
Hi, I'm Krista Buchanan. I'm a sophomore from Tucson, Arizona.
And now let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineup for Arizona.
Well, and really the highlight for this lineup has been Brittany Lestraps. She's just been on fire, using all aspects of the game, from line drives in the gap to that placement slap that she does so well.
And they will be facing Megan Langenfeld, Michelle, who is 4-0 right now in the NCAA tournament.
And the senior has just been phenomenal here in the NCAAs. She throws that screwball on 3 different planes, so she'll make it rise up through the zone, she'll drop it down, she'll run it in, she'll run it away. The screwball is the pitch to hit.
13th appearance in the finals for Arizona, the 18th time for UCLA, but just one current player has ever been in the championship series. That's the starting shortstop for Arizona, Kaylee Arredondo. Everybody else, first-timers. And the base hit to lead things off for Lestraps. She's going to try and go for 2, and they got her out. Andrea Harrison with the throw in from left.
Well, the best part about this, she makes sure she fields it first and then just gets a great throw into second base. Such a close call. Looks like Lestraps almost is in there.
Safe. Look at that.
Oh,
got under it.
Yeah, you can see the way that Lestraps slides in. Wow.
Break there for UCLA. Lestraps out at second.
I think it all comes back a lot of times to selling the call, and when you can sell the call, Gianna Salvatore really just sold that call to the umpire. You're going to get it.
Lauren Schutzler, the number 2 hitter. Let's go back to Lestrapes trying to get into second.
And you can see Lestrapes, she gets the hand in right there. It looks like the hand gets in because the tag's a little bit high, but look at the way Megan is pumped. And I'll tell you what, as a pitcher, when your defense makes a big play, it can fire you up in the circle.
Lestrapes back over there in the dugout trying to stay hydrated. She has been dealing with a bout of mononucleosis over the last few weeks. 2-2 the count now to Lauren Schutzler. Lauren, the junior from Monterey, in the starting lineup for the 3rd year. Langenfeld gets the strikeout, 2 down.
And Brittany Lestrapes, we talk about her playing with mono, but she just busts out of the box. She's thinking 2 all the way. You could not tell that she's dealing with anything right there, the way she got out of the box and went into second.
Lestrapes has not been practicing a whole lot. We've seen her trying to get her rest between games, actually lying on the bench in the dugout. They played twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, coming out of the loser's bracket. 0-1 to Kaylee Arredondo. Kaylee was a freshman, started in left field in the 3 games in the 2007 championship series when Arizona beat the University of Tennessee. Kaylee so far 8 for 20. She's been swinging a good bat in the World Series. Arredondo really got a hold of one yesterday in their win against Tennessee.
What I love about her is how she goes upstairs to get this. She stayed so tall, and as a player that also slaps, but when she decides to swing away, very smooth.
It's been an incredible turnaround for Arizona. They were run ruled on Thursday. Never in the 3 decades of this tournament has a team been run ruled and then bounced back to win a national championship. Had to win twice on Saturday, including a victory over the defending national champions from Washington, and then had to beat Tennessee twice yesterday to advance. Mike Candrea in his 25th season. He's also got an Olympic medal with Team USA as the head coach. Full count, Arredondo with 2 down here in the top of the 1st. Fouls another one off. Kaylee's been in the starting lineup all 4 years at Arizona. She is the only senior in the starting lineup for them. 2nd team All-American this year. So often we see the seniors really pick up the pace as they start to wind down their career, and Kaylee's batting average has gone up about 50 points in the last 6 weeks. Langenfeld missed it away. Good eye by Arredondo. Draws the walk, and talking with Mike Candrea before the game, he said, we've got to make sure that we are laying off those screwballs out of the zone and make Langenfeld bring them over the plate.
Well, and he said a lot of that would have to do with the umpire. He said that can be a coin flip, and some of them are going to call that off the plate pitch, and if they do, then they're going to have to make adjustments. Otherwise, hey, stay off of it unless it's a strike.
Stacey Chambers, the junior catcher, she was 0 for in the first 3 games here at the World Series, but has driven in runs in the last 2, including a 2-run home run yesterday against Tennessee. Michelle, what are you looking for with Megan Langenfeld tonight?
Well, the first thing she's going to need to do is use that screwball effectively. She needs to ride that out or into righties, out to lefties, expand the zone, and get ahead in the count. Always so much easier to pitch in that circle when you're ahead in the count.
And she wants to talk again with Kayla Shull, the two best friends, classmates. They will call their own game together. A lot of teams you'll see will come from the bench, but those two have what they have developed as a trust in one another. Langenfeld told us earlier today. She has had injuries this year and has been dealing with a blister on her pitching hand this week.
Yeah, Beth, and when she throws that screwball, comes off your middle finger and your index finger, and sometimes when the seams burn off that part of your finger, it can create a blister from the friction when that ball leaves that fingertip.
After getting a couple out, a couple of walks.
You can take a look at the blister right here. You can really see the way that has affected her finger. The other day it was bleeding a little bit. She had a blister there. They popped it, tried to get it so it wasn't quite as sore, but I can guarantee you, having had that myself, it is very painful to pitch with that condition.
Fouled out of play by Bridget Del Pawnee, the freshman from Peoria, Arizona. 79 RBI to establish a new freshman record at Tucson. Second team all Pac-10 performer, so some control issues in the early going for Langenfeld. 2 on with 2 out. Pops it up over the shortstop's head. That's going to fall. The base runners were on the move with 2 outs. And Arredondo comes in to score. Bridget Del Pawnee with her 80th run batted in of the season. 1-0 Cats.
And for Bridget on this, and the screwball, it gets her up on the hands, but she finishes through her swing, and that's what allows us just to get on grass. Andrea Harrison, left fielder for UCLA, knew she was going to be busy because most of the balls are going to be to that left side with the screwball. It's just enough to get Arredondo in for the run.
Well, if it's not 2 outs, that run probably doesn't score there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think of the 2 runners on base, they were both walks. Those free passes always come back to hurt you.
Lena Correa, the sophomore from Carson, California, and as Arizona has only lost twice all season when they've scored first. Correa has continued to play this year with a heavy heart. Her mom, Charlene, died of a heart attack in March. Has leaned heavily on her family as well as her extended family here at Arizona to help pull her through. And has really embraced the opportunity to continue playing this season with her friends and teammates. She's got a couple of hits here in Oklahoma City. High and tight, but already started her swing, so just had to fight it off. Charlene's picture that she keeps in her helmet. She's also got a pin that she's been wearing around town, and reminders on her arms with her bracelets. Rips another inside pitch foul.
Take a look at the pin that she wears in memory of her mother, and also the initial on the hat for the UCLA, the Arizona players.
Fights off another 0-2 pitch.
And I think what you said, Beth, about the family atmosphere at Arizona has really been a huge support for Lene, and she talked about how she didn't know she could make it through all this without that family support. And that's one of the things that you love about the traditions of both these programs, is how a lot of the kids talk about that it's their family. It's these other players are their extended family.
Langenfeld missed upstairs. They've got the runner and the rundown in the first and third situation. The throw to third. And getting over to second base safely is Bridget Del Pawnee. The hope for Arizona is on the throwdown that gets away or somehow allows the base runner to score from third.
Well, and with 2 outs, UCLA really should have just been trying to go after Bridget Delpani. Forget the runner at third. If she tags out Delpani, innings over, it doesn't matter at all. So a lot of times you get caught up in that first and third. Don't let the runner score. But really, in that situation, she gets Delpani, they're out.
Yeah, absolutely, Jess. And the other thing, too, is that Chambers was not that far off at third base. She wasn't going to score, so I think they had a little bit more time to go ahead and go after Delpani.
Fouled, and then the ricochet put it back into fair play. Also a situation, too, where you want to be aware of who's on base. Chambers not the best of speed from third, so you figure, well, if we're anywhere close to Delpani, we can get to her faster than Chambers can get home. Couple of hits, a couple of walks. Arizona jumping on top here in the first.
Well, and Bethan, in that situation when Delpani came off, she was trying to get in a pickle. She wasn't stealing second. She was trying to create havoc, try to make something happen. So that's a lot of times what you see happen in a first and third.
Kelly Inouye-Perez looking on from the UCLA dugout. 22 years at UCLA, including the last 4 as the head coach. Former longtime assistant who also played for the Bruins on 3 national championship teams. And talking with her earlier, she was around when the rivalry first began back in the 91 and 92 seasons. After years of UCLA dominance, the Wildcats won their first title in 91. Pop up to short. Monica Harrison has it on the grass. Side retired. A couple left on for Arizona, but the RBI single for the freshman Bridget Delpani gives the Cats the early lead. 1-0 Arizona. UCLA's coming up. Heading to the bottom of the first inning here at the Women's College World Series. Game 1, best of 3 for the national championship, and let's meet the starting lineup for the UCLA Bruins.
I'm head coach Kelly Inouye-Perez, and here are the UCLA Bruins.
Hi, I'm Gianna Desalle, and I'm a junior from Palm Harbor, Florida.
I'm Monica Harrison. I'm a junior from Garden Grove, California.
Megan Langenfeld, senior from Bakersfield, California.
I'm Andrea Harrison. I'm a sophomore from Garden Grove, California.
Hi, I'm Samantha Caruso, a sophomore from Redding, California.
Hi, I'm Danny Uden. I'm a sophomore from Coto de Caza, California.
Hi, my name is Julie Burney. I'm a senior from Placentia, California.
Hi, my name is Kayla Scholl. I'm a senior from Lodi, California.
Hi, my name is Bibi Bates. I'm a freshman from Victorville, California.
And Jessica, let's take a look at the Capital One starting lineup for the Bruins.
And definitely the person to highlight has been Sammy Caruso. She has been so hot. 500 here at the series, 2 home runs. She has stepped up right in the middle of that UCLA lineup.
The Bruins will be facing Kenzie Fowler, the freshman from Tucson, 38-7 on the season, and has pitched 4 games in the last 2 days.
And Kenzie Fowler, as you mentioned, a freshman, but she's thrown so many games this year. She technically could be considered a sophomore, but you know what? She throws like a senior, and that's what her teammates say. She throws a really good rise ball, screwball, that changeup. She's going to need to use that effectively, and she's going to need to use it often, I think, in order to keep UCLA off balance. UCLA, a lot of power. The more you throw that changeup, the more you try to get those hitters out on that front leg.
Control has been a bit of an issue for Kenzie. 22 walks at the World Series. Some of those because of the problems she's been having with the illegal pitches. She has shown a tendency to leap, get both feet off the pitching rubber into the air at the same time, which is illegal. Gianna Desalle will start things up. Through the course of the first 5 games, 22 illegal pitches. They have decreased, though, the more she has thrown.
And what she does is she has a tendency for that pivot foot to come off the ground. And when that pivot foot is off the ground, basically the rule states that you can't have 2 feet in the air, and you have to drag that pivot foot in the dirt. Kenzie has a tendency not to do that. She throws that center of gravity, is what we like to call it as pitchers. technical term, but that center of gravity, she tries to throw that up instead of toward home plate. When she throws it toward home plate, that will keep the foot down on the ground.
Desalle chops it to third. Del Ponte makes the play, 1 down. Let's take a look at her from earlier in the week.
You see the way that foot comes up. You got to catch it right here. You can see she's off the ground right there. You can see the way that foot is off the dirt, and when it's off the dirt, that's considered illegal. You see the first base umpire get that arm out, calling that pitch illegal. It's a delayed dead ball, which means that it's the best outcome for the offensive team. So it would be either the out would be brought back, or if it's a home run, the offensive team gets to keep it. But you can see the illegal pitch, not dragging that back foot, and the ball's awarded to the hitter, and the base runners advance 60 feet.
Fly out to Schutzler, 2 down. And Michelle, important to note that although it's called an illegal pitch, it does not necessarily give the pitcher the advantage.
Correct, that is correct. It's not like they're cheating or it's an advantage. This particular type of a flaw in your mechanics actually is a disadvantage to the pitcher because, again, as I mentioned, their weight is being thrown up in the air instead of toward home plate. And anytime you do that, if you take physics and vectors, that energy, when it's thrown up instead of toward home plate, you're just not as efficient. And if you want to be the most efficient pitcher possible, you want all your energy going toward home plate, not up in the air.
2 down for the freshman facing Megan Langenfeld. 6 for 9 at the Women's College World Series for the Pac-10 Player of the Year. That one misses away. 66 miles an hour. You can track the speed up on the scoreboard at the top of the screen. 512 on the year. And those numbers are in just 48 games. She missed 11 of them with injuries this season. Still was impressive enough to be one of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year honors that went to Danielle Laurie at Washington. 2-2. Lays off the rise, full count to Langenfeld with 2 down here in the bottom of the first. A Bridget Del Ponte RBI single, getting Arizona the lead in the top half of the inning. Lined out to deep right, and that is gone. Megan Langenfeld ties it up with 1 swing. Her second home run of this World Series. The 9th for the Bruins. And they have helped this group of 8 teams set a new World Series record here in Oklahoma City. That is 25.
Oh, and what an adjustment Megan Langenfeld. That's the same pitch that she took for strike 2, almost looking at the umpire like, are you kidding me? What she does, this is what makes her so successful, is she makes that adjustment and gets her hands out in front of this pitch. She knows it's gone as soon as she hits it.
18th home run of the year for Langenfeld. Just as they have done throughout this postseason, they go deep. That's 26 home runs in 8 games and the first inning here of the 9th in the NCAA tournament. Andrea Harrison, who has 3 of those home runs here at the World Series. All of her hits have been homers. Let's check out Langenfeld's swing.
And just a beautiful compact swing, and you see right here just how straight that backside is. That's where her power is coming from, but as I said earlier, her hands getting out in front and then just power from the backside. A beautiful swing.
That's 25 home runs combined for the 8 teams, a new World Series record. Tops the record set last year at 24. In for a strike to Harrison. And I know Michelle Smith, you share the sentiments of pitchers worldwide, cringing at the home run numbers. The long ball has taken over the game for the time being.
Absolutely. We talked a lot about the bats. We've moved the pitchers back. The strike zone seems like it's shrunk. Oh, poor pitchers.
Laced out to right, and the base hit for Harrison. Couple hits in a row off the freshman. One of the things that these women earn quickly playing in the Pac-10 Conference, you're going to get hit. You might get lit up every once in a while, but it's your ability to bounce back when times are tough that will be on the mind right now of Kenzie Fowler.
I bet you bring up a really good point about the fact that pitchers really have to learn to toughen up. You have to analyze everything that you're doing and not be defensive and change and adapt. Just like the hitters have to change and adapt, pitchers, you have to do the same exact thing.
Sammy Caruso, the sophomore from Redding, California, now stepping in. We talked to Kelly Inouye-Perez earlier today, and she said it didn't take long when we were recruiting Sammy. We saw one swing, and we said, yep, we'd like to have that one right there.
Well, and for those watching that don't know a lot about this Arizona-UCLA rivalry, one of the biggest things about it is the fact that the games always go back and forth. You'll see one team score like we did, Arizona top at first, UCLA come right back, Arizona's going to come back, same with UCLA. That's the way these two teams compete.
And that's the reason why your mentality has to be so good. You cannot get defensive. You're constantly going to be coached if you're doing things right or you're doing things wrong. You're always going to be getting feedback, and if you can't handle that, you're probably not going to be playing for one of these two programs.
Two-two to Caruso. Struck her out. So Fowler does show the ability to bounce back. But Langenfeld also showing the ability to go deep and making the adjustment. The solo shot ties it at 1 here at the World Series. The Riverwalk here in Oklahoma City and the 2010 Women's College World Series. The NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One with Arizona and UCLA, Beth Mullins, Olympic gold medalist Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, and a Hall of Fame Stadium reporter, Holly Rowe. It is the greatest rivalry in softball, perhaps in all of women's college athletics. The Wildcats looking for a 9th title. The Bruins looking for number 11 in NCAA history. That's 18 of the 28 that have been played. The Washington Huskies were knocked out after going 0-2. A new World Series record with Megan Langenfeld in the first inning for 25 total for the teams combined. And the illegal pitches, which we saw so much of early in this series, have tapered off the deeper we've gotten into the tournament. Langenfeld hasn't been affected at all for UCLA, but Kenzie Fowler was very affected early on in the World Series, particularly in a 9-0 loss to Tennessee. Langenfeld, after the home run, going to work in the circle. Seven, 8, 9 in the order. Hall of Fame Stadium reporter Holly Rowe almost snared that one. In at 63 miles an hour for Langenfeld. This the 7th time that these two powerhouses are meeting to decide the national championship. Arizona has the edge, winning 4 of those meetings. drills it into the UCLA dugout. They met May 13th to 15th at the end of the regular season. UCLA taking 2 of 3, and Langenfeld went 2-0 against Arizona. The teams combined for 7 home runs in that series, so we're expecting plenty of fireworks here in the championship series to decide who takes home the trophy.
And out of all the outfielders, they're making an adjustment. Andrea Harrison in left kind of pulling in a little bit, anticipating that small ball hit that was hit by Del Ponte back in the first. And I spoke with Andrea Harrison today, and she said, you know what, I know Lang's gonna go, that's Megan Langenfeld's nickname, is gonna go with that screwball. So that means a lot of action for me in left field. What she didn't anticipate was the fact that that jam that happened with Del Ponte made a short hit. So now she's pulled in, anticipating it.
And you bring up a really good point, Jess. As a defender, you have to figure out and you have to analyze what your pitcher's doing. If she's really hitting her locations and jamming up the batters, you probably need to play short because the hitters are jammed. They're going to get little patent-type hits. Now, if she's missing her spot,
over in foul territory at the wall, the catch made by Andrea Harrison, 1 down.
Now, if she's missing her spot and leaving the ball too much on the white part of the plate and the ball's getting hit hard, she probably would have to play then deep. So you really have to analyze how your pitcher is throwing and then adjust accordingly in the outfield or in the infield.
That'll bring up Bailey Kirker. Bailey's looking for her first hit of the Women's College World Series. The freshman from La Crescenta, California. Set prep records in the state for home runs and runs batted in. Played a lot of travel ball for her dad, Randy, who was also her coach. One from Langenfeld. Oh, and you could look like she was definitely affected by the blister on the finger after that pitch. Dancing around out there. Has thrown primarily 80% screwballs all week long and developed a blister on her finger, so it's fouled out of play. Let's check in for more with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, I actually talked to Megan before the game, and she let me feel that blister on her finger. They drained it last night, and so it's pretty tough skin that they have dried out. They didn't put any topical ointments on it so it could get dry. But what's really bothering her, too, guys, is the skin on the side of her fingernails has split off. 2 of her fingernails, she's kind of got blood coming out. It's not an ideal situation, but every time you ask Megan about it, she says, I'm fine, they're just fine. But guys, I can tell you it is hurting her right now, and in between pitches, she keeps looking at it.
Comes back strong for the strikeout of Kirker, 2 down. That's the second for Langenfeld. Well, she was quoted earlier this season saying, if I could be remembered as someone who worked hard and was super competitive and did everything possible to get the job done, that would mean a lot to me. And if you ask all the Bruins and their coaching staff, that is the perfect description for the kind of team player she is.
Yeah, absolutely, and her coaches say that, you know what, Megan Langenfeld basically outwills a lot of the hitters, and you love to see that. She's going to be on the mound, and she's going to battle every single pitch.
Facing Carissa Buchanan, not your typical number 9 hitter. She's got 9 hits in the World Series and has one of the best batting averages on the team.
Well, and Beth, the way she does that is she's all short game. I mean, you might see her stand in the box and swing away, but if even the defense right now, everyone pulled in, UCLA knows how to defend her, but she can still find a hole even with the defense pulled in.
Slaps it to Bernie at third. Gets her 3 up and 3 down for UCLA in the top of the second. We are even at 1 in Game 1 of the championship series. In a decade of parity around the college softball world, the old guard has returned to the top. UCLA and Arizona tied at 1 in Game 1 of the championship series. And the two power programs that have combined for 18 national championships. And this the 7th time they are meeting in the finals. And while the Lakers and Celtics have their thing going on in the NBA finals, fun little comparison there for you. Arizona has won 4 of the previous 6. This is the first time, though, in 9 years. You have to go back to the 1-0 victory for Jenny Finch in the 2001 national championship game. Lindsey Collins' solo home run was the game winner. But during the 90s, these two seem to be playing just about every year. There have been 6 first-time winners in the last decade, and these two programs said, "Okay, we've had enough of that. Let's get back to business here." And you could sense even in the crowd a little something special, knowing that the two powerhouses were getting back together again. It's been a while. Six, 7, and 8 here in the order for UCLA. 2-1 pitch to Danny Uden.
Well, Beth, you bring up that 2001 win by Arizona. Talked to Jenny Finch earlier, and she was saying how from the day that she stepped on Arizona's campus, she could not wait to play UCLA because it was so anticipated, so talked about it. Growing up, watching softball, then being there, a part of it. She said she couldn't wait just to be a part of it and play. And I was getting goosebumps just listening and even jealous. And she said the whole campus, the day of the game, they're playing UCLA, all her professors, students, everyone knew this was the event in Tucson.
Uden draws the walk. Leadoff is on board here in the bottom of the 2nd. The NCAA Women's College World Series continuing on ESPN2 tomorrow night with Game 2 of the finals. The NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. And an illegal pitch on that last pitch from Kenzie Fowler. That's her 23rd of the World Series. Yeah, that puts Danny Uden over on first base. Would have been ball 4 anyways, but let's take a look.
And you can see right there, if you freeze it, you can see that foot is off the ground. And when that foot is off the ground, the umpires see that, they call that an illegal pitch. That's the pivot foot. You have to drag that pivot foot. The umpires have been looking for that all season long.
Once again, the rule states if you have both feet in the air, it's an illegal pitch. That's a ball for the batter. And now with somebody on board, if there's an illegal pitch, they would move up a base. Sacrifice situation for Julie Burney. The throw down to second. Got her. Burney safe at first. The umpire going over to tell Grace Murray that she was called out, but Kelly Inouye Perez disagrees. The base runner will stay right there while she argues the call.
And I think what Kelly Inouye Perez is going to say is that she pulled her foot off. Kristen Ariola's foot came off the bag. It looked like it's what she thought.
Umpires will now talk it over, and the call will stand. John Kernat at home, Scott Thomas at first, Gianna Tidwell, the third base umpire, and Grace Murray, the pinch runner, is out at second.
So
one down.
You take a look at the bunt, it goes down. Delpani very aggressive, throwing off the run, and you can see the foot on the catch. Check it out right there. The foot is off the bag when the catch is made, and I think that's what Kelly Inouye Perez was asking the umpires. They get together, and I'm sure that what Gianna Tidwell was saying, I need some help. Can you Was her foot on or off the bag? Did anyone see anything? Now, if the other umpires didn't see it, it's not their responsibility to make that call. If they would have given her that information.
Very tough calls, very close calls for the umpires to make, but now in the first 2 innings, each team has lost a runner in scoring position on a play that they both looked, the base runners, to be safe.
And it's those split decision calls. I tell you what, I would not want their job as an umpire at all. They have to make those decisions so quickly. And as the level of the players increase, so do the level of the umpires. They work very hard. You can see right there, the foot is off. But these umpires work very hard to train on these particular types of plays. And they're not going to get them all right. I mean, they're human just like the players. The players make errors. The umpires have to make split decision calls.
2-1 pitch in for a strike to Kayla Scholl, the senior from Lodi, California. Has put in a lot of extra work with assistant coach Lisa Fernandez, who helped change her game quite a bit. And the coaches rave about her positive attitude and her willingness to accept the changes this late in her career. Lisa Fernandez, a former national champion herself at UCLA, as well as an Olympic gold medalist.
Played a lot of years with Lisa Fernandez, and it was great the way we always looked at our game. It didn't matter how good we did. We always went back and we basically dissected everything that we did to see how we could get better.
Fowler blows it by her for strikeout number 2 in the second out of the inning.
And it's interesting coaching a lot of these players nowadays. She says, you know, I've got to find different ways to coach them. Maybe they don't take the criticism, and you try to say this is constructive criticism. This is the way we want you to look at this. And it's interesting being a coach now. She's had to take a different mentality or a different approach to working with some of these younger athletes who have been coached possibly by their parents and it's always been positive, 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 and then you give them a little bit of constructive criticism and they're not quite sure how to handle it. It's kind of interesting.
BB Bates, the number 9 hitter in the order, hit one out of the park yesterday. Just as impressive as their home run numbers in the postseason, now up to 26 in the NCAA tournament. Every starter in the lineup has hit one out for UCLA during the NCAA tournament, all 9 batters. 1-1 to Bates.
Well, BB Bates, primarily a slapper. Beth, you talked about her hitting it out yesterday. They've really been working on her staying in her legs, because as a slapper, you use your legs to move, not to hit with. And so that's a lot of times you get introduced to the left side as a slapper, but then when you want to try to hit, you really have to emphasize the legs. It's not just about upper body. That's how you hit a home run.
Just the one hit, but that was a big one in their victory over Georgia yesterday. Wins over Florida, Hawaii, and Georgia here at the World Series to get into the finals. And now with the 3-2 count, something they've worked on all year is hitting with 2 strikes, and Langenfeld's home run earlier was on a 2-strike count. 2 for 5 tonight. Not this time, though, as Bates goes down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Fowler. Side retired, 1 left on. We've played 2 in a 1-1 tie. First team All-American Brittany Lestraps coming up when we come back. Junior Brittany Lestraps to lead it off for Arizona. She's gotten a hit in all 5 of their games here at the Women's College World Series. She scored 5 times after the bat work. Dealing with the illness hasn't slowed her down a bit. Check out the glove love from the left fielder. The Wildcats and the Bruins for the 7th time vying for the national championship. It's game 1, best of 3 here in Oklahoma City. Both teams getting a run across in the first, scoreless in the second. And Lestraps will start things off against Megan Langenfeld. Lestraps got a base hit her first time up, but tried to leg the single into the double and was thrown out at second base. The replay showed she was able to slide in before the tag. And the player that Mike Candrea says is tough as nails, loves the efficiency of her swing, very little wasted motion. Can play the short game, can hit for power. For your leadoff hitter, that .514 on-base percentage is also a nice number.
Well, besides the efficiency, that beautiful pure swing she has, she's also got a great eye to go with it. So she has a lot of walks on the season, and as a leadoff batter, so important. You see a lot of pitches, it helps the rest of your team.
Yeah, absolutely, and let's face it, a walk is as good as a hit. It sounds cliche, but it is oh so true when you're in that leadoff position.
For more on her illness, let's send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, in talking to her mom, Renee, and her sister, Dominique, who played at Washington, they said she is so exhausted. She can barely walk to and from the bus. It's an effort to get back to her hotel room. They said after the third inning, she is just dying. She's putting every ounce of strength and energy she has when she's in the outfield and her at-bats. They said the at-bats take so much out of her. She didn't want to take any medication. This meant too much to her.
Just foul down the left field line. Mononucleosis has slowed her down the last several weeks. But look at the numbers she's putting up. 6'11". Leo O'Brien has the record back in '94 with a .750 average at the series.
I'll say slowed her down maybe in the dugout and away from the field, but as soon as she steps in that box or at left field, she does not look like she's sick at all.
And she's got her second hit of the game. This time she'll hold it first. Lead off for Lestraps here in the top of the third.
And what Brittany Lestraps does so well is she has a very short swing, and on a screwball that Langenfeld's throwing on the outside part of the plate, short swing is key. She hits it right back up the middle.
Lauren Schutzler, who struck out in the first inning. The top three for Arizona this year in 64 games. Each of them has over 80 hits and has scored over 60 runs. They have been a very productive bunch. Both these teams throughout the course of the season averaging about 7 runs a game. Chopped to short. Harrison gets the lead runner. No chance to turn 2, 1 away. The 2010 FIFA World Cup beginning on ESPN Friday, June 11th. First at 9:30 a.m. South Africa takes on Mexico. Then at 2 Eastern, Uruguay and France. The 2010 FIFA World Cup on ESPN Friday, June 11th. Team USA will get things going on Saturday against England. Coverage will begin at 1:30. Landon Donovan, Tim Howard, and the Yanks trying to set back Wayne Rooney and the Brits. It's going to be tough, though. England will be one of the favorites this year. Haley Arredondo walked and scored on the Del Ponte run-scoring single in the first inning. Fly ball chasing Harrison back and left. Backpedaling, making the catch. 2 out. Runner cannot advance. The 2010 Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Arizona and UCLA in Game 1, best of 3 for the championship. Beth Mowens, a couple of Olympic gold medalists, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. Holly Rowe roaming the stadium for us. The 2 powerhouses in the game. Arizona looking for a 9th title. UCLA, it would be an 11th. And this is the rivalry in the sport, perhaps in all of women's college athletics. More combined championships and more head-to-head meetings than even the storied UConn-Tennessee women's basketball rivalry. Mike Candrea has all 8 titles as the head coach for Arizona. 3 different or two different coaches have the championships for UCLA. The runner goes, and she'll be sliding in safely. Schutzler into scoring position with 1 out, or 2 outs.
Kayla Shull, this is the negative of having to catch a screwball pitcher, is the fact that you have to shift your weight to the left side of your body and then try to make a throw down to second. Still a good throw. Lauren Schutzler, though, you'd probably like it a little bit more towards your right, your throwing side, when you're trying to gun out a runner like Lauren Schutzler.
Yeah, absolutely. That ball's running away from your throwing shoulder, makes it that much longer of a transfer.
Ball 4 to Chambers, 2 on. And the number 5 hitter, Bridget Del Ponte, who drove in a run with a single in the first. Second time that Chambers has walked. While the Lakers and Celtics are battling again on the hard court here on the diamond. It's the Cats and the Bruins. Arizona has won 4 of the 7, 4 of the previous 6, rather. Here's what happened back in the first with Del Ponte.
Del Ponte just getting enough of this ball to get it on the grass. Of course, Megan Langenfeld not having any of that. 1-run homer to tie it up.
Looking for the gap on the run as Lindbaum makes the diving catch to end the inning. Devin Lindbaum with the big D behind Langenfeld keeps Arizona from getting another one on the board. The catch on the run, still tied at 1. The Coke Zero game track tied at 1, Arizona and UCLA. Del Ponte an RBI single, Langenfeld a solo home run here in game 1 of the best-of-3 championship series. The UCLA Bruins, in a week when the sports world has mourned the death of John Wooden, they've also celebrated his life, and his legacy continues to have an impact at UCLA for all of the student athletes.
You know, John Wooden's a big part of everybody in the Bruin family.
Playing for somebody like a Coach John Wooden, it definitely pulls the team together. Coach Wooden's impact on this team has been huge. We've been really talking about his pyramid of success, and right now we're at the competitive excellence part of our stage.
Basically, he's taught everybody at UCLA to respect the little things.
And here at the Women's College World Series, the UCLA flag is flying at half-staff. The wristbands that all the UCLA Bruin players are wearing with the JW on it for Coach Wooden. And even if you never met him or had a chance to play for him, he still has had an effect on your life, including yours, Michelle.
Oh, absolutely. My favorite quote by Coach Wooden is, "It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen." And I apply that all the time when I'm coaching kids, when I'm analyzing this game right here. It's not criticism, it's constructive criticism. You pick apart the game, you look at things so that you can get better and you can excel, so that you can basically get to that top of that pyramid to excellence.
Out to left field, Lestraps off her glove. Desalle Vitur into second base and a runner in scoring position for UCLA. For more on Coach Wooden, let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Oh, here we go. Well, we are trying to catch Coach, but she's cheering. This is Sue Enquist, who's won so many national championships. And it's not just a passing fancy with Coach Wooden that you guys talk of him. You would actually make a pilgrimage so every one of your freshmen could meet him. Why was that important to you as a coach?
Well, just an opportunity for our student athletes to learn from him directly. We live by his pyramid of success, but to be in his living room and to hear him talk about the things that are really important beyond just winning and losing is valuable.
What was it like for these girls? Hold a moment.
Wild pitch allows the base runner to move up. Desalle to third. Holly?
What was it like for these young athletes when they'd walk in and there he was, Coach Wooden? What was their reaction like?
I think at first they're in awe, but then once they sit down with him, they realize how warm he is and how charming, too. It's got a wonderful sense of humor. It was a great experience for them to have him share stories and for them to ask questions and for him to give those great answers.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Bruins!
Thank you very much, Holly. Coach Enquist, a part of all of their national championship teams as either the assistant coach, co-head coach, or head coach, along with Sharon Backus for so many years. And one of the youngsters that played for her at UCLA has taken over the reins of the program. Kelly Inouye Perez, now in her 4th season. And you talk about some pressure to win. Whew. Nowhere else in college softball is it as significant as it is in Westwood. And so many people around the game excited for her to have the opportunity, her first chance to win one. That's a foul ball. The Bruins were not here last year, and she said we did not throw the last punch, and we've talked about that all year long. Be able to deliver in the moments like this. Monica Harrison, the junior starting shortstop, along with her sister Andrea, the starter out in left field. Monica fouls it back, 1-2.
And it's so important, Beth, as you mentioned, UCLA talking about last year not being able to throw that final punch and basically take advantage of either errors by their opponent or get that run, leaving runners on base. It goes all back to that attitude that Coach Wooden talked about, the little things. Those little things can make a huge difference in your success.
Del Ponte checks the runner. The throw over to first in time. And the pickup by Kirker on the tough throw. 1 down.
Well, Del Ponte does a good job of checking the runner. You can tell DeSalvatore messing with her a little bit, and I think that last-minute break might have caused this throw. So you watch DeSalvatore kind of acting like she's taken off, but then Kirker does a good job keeping that ball in front, but more importantly, holding on to it while keeping her foot on the base. Something that's not easy to multitask.
And now they'll have to deal with Megan Langenfeld, who hit the home run in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch to Megan. 1-1 over the outside part of the plate. 500 hitter on the year, one of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year honors.
And you can tell they're throwing to the outside part of the plate with Langenfeld. She hit that home run on the curveball on the inside, but the way Megan sets up in the batter's box, she really takes away the plate because she's so on the plate. Her left foot very close, and it's very difficult to figure out how to pitch her because that outside pitch now is a lot meatier.
Here's her home run from the first inning.
And her being so close on the plate that when they do come to that inner half, that's what's so impressive about that swing. Is they're thinking there's no way she can get her hands out on that. Look how close she is.
Two from the freshman, Kenzie Fowler. Trying to muscle that one out to right field. Falls in safely. And the throw to third instead of home by Carissa Buchanan, who perhaps was trying to fool the umpire into believing she caught it and was throwing to get the runner for not tagging up. But instead, Langenfeld has both runs driven in today for UCLA in a 2-1 lead.
And you can see the way that Buchanan comes in. She definitely short hops his ball. She thinks she makes the catch. You can see it hits the ground right here. She comes up aggressively, makes the throw, and you can look, that is perfect. What Gianna does right there is that she waits to see ball down. And when you're at third, you're gonna score anyway if that ball hits the ground. If it doesn't and it is a catch, you gotta be able to tag. So So she waits to see ball down before she goes. Now, had that been a catch, she probably would have been a little bit late going back to the bag. You have to be so careful. Hang out at the bag until you know for sure that it is a catch or not a catch before you head home.
Andrea Harrison and Megan Langenfeld now at the World Series is 8 for 11 with 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in. Reminiscing with some of her high school teammates on the phone this week, they were reminding each other, who would have thought the kid from Bakersfield would be here on the big stage, and not only is she on it, she is front and center. Harrison, the single out to right field in the first inning.
Yeah, absolutely, Beth. She is front and center. And the thing that I love about watching Megan is the fact that when she's in the circle, it's like she out-wills the batter. Her will to win is just at a peak. And I think, again, that competitive excellence that UCLA talks about, these kids, they live it, they dream it, and they do it, which is most important. I mean, you can just see it coming true right before your eyes.
Both of her hits today, by the way, coming on a 2-strike count for Langenfeld. 3-1 here to Harrison. Now it's full with 1 down. The double by Desalle, and then the RBI single for Langenfeld to give UCLA a 2-1 lead here in Game 1 of the championship series. And the strikeout of Harrison, 2 outs. That's the 4th for Fowler. The NBA Finals continuing on ABC Tuesday night. The Lakers are headed to Boston, all even at 1-1. It's the Lakers and Celtics in Game 3 Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. Coverage begins with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown at 8:30 Eastern. Kobe Bryant and Paul Pierce going at it again. The rivalry in the NBA, and here in Oklahoma City, the rivalry in college softball, the 18 combined national championship in the 28 years of this tournament. Sammy Caruso struck out on a screwball in the first inning. The sophomore from Redding, California, with 7 home runs in 8 NCAA tournament games. Redshirted last year with a shoulder injury, had that phenomenal freshman season. The Bruins refer to her simply as Quiet Thunder. Not enough thunder on that particular at-bat, and another strikeout for Kenzie Fowler. That's 5 for the freshman. But Desalle with the double. Langenfeld brings her home. It's 2-1 Bruins.
The journey has been a long one. I simply tell the girls every day, it's part of our story.
And there's been times where this team, we didn't really know where we were going. A little bit of a roller coaster. We've had some ups and we've had some downs. We all pulled it together and knew that we can do this and we will win.
So here we are in 2010 playing our best ball, and I'm just so proud that the girls are doing everything that they're capable of doing to this point.
Overcoming adversity has been a big part of their story this year. UCLA leading Arizona 2-1 as we head to the 4th inning, Game 1 of the best-of-3 championship series. And let's go down to Holly Rowe with Coach Perez.
Well, what did you like about the way your team fought back there after Arizona got on the board first?
You know, I think that's something that we've really been focusing on is, you know, I've said it earlier, our competitive excellence, our ability to really know that today is going to be a dogfight and our ability to fight through the end. We know that, you know, this is the biggest game of our series, and for us, we're just really excited to get out here and compete.
You just pulled the team together for a little chat there. What were you trying to get across to them?
You know, for us, we're just kind of making sure we're on the same page on defense. You know, we gotta stick together, have a same game plan, and make sure that we play as one. So each inning we check in to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that's kind of been our plan throughout the tournament.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Holly. And the UCLA Bruins back into the finals again. They've won 10 national championships. This is their 18th trip to the finals. And the .810 winning percentage in NCAA tournament play. And Kelly Inouye-Perez is a part of that history as the starting catcher during Lisa Fernandez's undefeated season in 1992. And some of the greats of the game that have played against each other in the previous 6 finals, including Fernandez and fellow Olympian Leah O'Brien, Jenny Finch, Stacey Newman, all a part of this storied rivalry. Lena Correa, and the pop-up back to get it is Monica Harrison, 1 out. Megan Langenfeld hoping that she can join that select list of champions. She's 2 for 2 with a solo home run. She's allowed just the 3 hits thus far. The walks have gotten her into a bit of trouble. She's trying to pitch with the blister and the hangnails that Holly Rowe reported on earlier. We talk about the pitching tradition at UCLA with the likes of Debbie Doom and Lisa Fernandez, Kira Garrell, who won 2 championships here and threw the only no-hitter in finals history back when it was still a 1-game championship. The only 2 pitchers that have completed undefeated seasons with national championships played for these 2 teams, and Lisa Fernandez and Jenny Finch.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point about Megan and the fact that, you know, here she is, she's trying to overcome those blisters, the history of other pitchers who've been in the circle, and you look at her statistics for the year. She's only thrown a little over 100 innings this year because of injuries, because for a while UCLA pitched by committee like a lot of other programs. On the flip side of that, you have Kenzie Fowler. She's thrown almost 275 innings. So complete opposites, these 2 pitchers making their starts today, and Kenzie being just a freshman, I mean, she's just done an incredible job in the circle for the Wildcats.
3-1 pitch to Kristen Arriola, who beat UCLA during that regular season series with a walk-off home run, one of her 6 on the year. They've played with each other, sometimes as high school teammates. Arriola and the Harrison sisters both played for the Pacifica Mariners back in Garden Grove, California.
Well, and that's when we talk about, you know, first of all, through the tradition of this rivalry, but then the fact that these players know each other so well. They played high school, they played travel ball together, and then they get out here. Andrea Harrison said, you know what, the friendship stops.
That's right.
Between the lines.
She talks about just don't look them in the eye. Just when I'm on the field, I'm not going to look them in the eye. And you know, it's interesting too, because when you talk about UCLA softball, the word dynasty probably comes to mind. And when I was in contact with Leah O'Brien and Miko earlier, she talked about the fact, being one of the athletes that was in the program early in the 90s, that was their goal. The Wildcats' goal was to create that sort of dynasty that UCLA had and has, and Arizona's done that. Mike Kendrea has done that with his program.
He called it a rivalry built on respect, and there certainly has been plenty of that over the years, as well as the occasional bad blood and moments of high drama and controversy, including the 1995 national championship game when UCLA beat Arizona, but later had to vacate that championship because they used an illegal player. Fly ball out to Harrison, got it. 2 down. The NCAA College World Series for the men begins on Saturday, June 19th at 2 Eastern, live on ESPN HD. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Bailey Kirker, the freshman first baseman. Langenfeld struck her out in the 2nd inning. Foul fouls that one off.
Well, as you see these Arizona hitters kind of struggle with the screwball in the sense that they keep fouling it off. And as much as that's battling, it's battling right now. It just, gave Megan Langenfeld a strike. Could get you behind 0-2. Mike Candrea said he's going to have his right-handed hitters back off the plate and sit on that screwball. And you can tell they are. They're further off the plate than they normally are. However, just because they're off the plate doesn't mean you still swing at the same pitch. The point of moving you off the plate is so you hit the strike, take the ball.
Correct, and watch that pitch come inside. And when we talked with Megan earlier in the day, one of the things that she mentioned is that she knew that Arizona was going to be making adjustments. She was going to have to make adjustments in the circle as well. And if they were off the plate, then she was going to need to throw to the outside corner of the plate to keep them honest, so that they didn't get so far off the plate to hit the screwball that they weren't respecting the outside pitch.
And that's experience, isn't it, Michelle? When you talk about Shull and Langenfeld that have been pitching to each other for 4 years, not only knowing the game situations, but reading what the hitter is doing in the batter's box.
Absolutely. You've got to be able to look at you have to be able to multitask. You have to be able to look at that hitter in the box and almost kind of read what they're thinking, what they're doing. Look right there was a really good look at Shull checking out the feet of Kirker. And when you look at those type of things, those are the nuances of the game that the battery can see that you can't see from the dugout when the coaches are calling the game. And that's what I love about allowing the battery to call their own game. That experience between these two seniors, Langenfeld and Shull, absolutely comes to place in this game.
Another one pop foul by Kirker.
I always said that being a professional softball player in Japan for 16 years, my job really was, I was basically paid to read what people were thinking and to read what those batters were feeling and doing when they stepped in the box. And a lot of times you could tell who you had beat, and you could also tell which ones were going to battle with you. And a lot of times you see that in the eyes of the athlete.
Well, and that's why, Jessica, body language is something that a lot of players probably don't think about, but there's tells and there's signs that you can pick on all over the place just by how you're carrying yourself out there.
That's why I always tell hitters, fake it till you make it. Even if you're not feeling good, get in that batter's box and just look like you're gonna hit, because that'll get in the head of any pitcher.
Kirker making Langenfeld work. Change up, got her at 47 miles per hour. Strikeout number 3 for Megan Langenfeld. Kirker fooled on the pitch and a 2-1 Arizona lead. A dynasty which began with a first national championship in 1991, rolled through 2001 with Jenny Finch, still going strong in 2007 with Taryn Mowat. All 8 titles under the direction of head coach Mike Candrea. And his club is down to UCLA right now, 2-1. And Coach Candrea down on the field with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, we were just talking about all these foul balls that the Wildcat hitters are fouling off. What does that tell you about how your hitters are approaching Langenfeld?
Well, the screwball, the big thing is you've got to make sure it's over the plate. If the ball's in on you and you start spinning on it, the only place you can do is pull the ball. And right now we're just, we're letting her get ahead, and then she's going in, and it's when you get behind in the count, it's hard to take that pitch. So, we got to do a better job of maybe taking the pitch early in the count, forcing her to maybe get behind the count, and maybe we might get some good pitches to swing at.
And then for your pitcher, I saw Sarah Akamini go out to the bullpen. How long do you go with Kenzie here?
We'll see. We've got a lot of softball left, so she's a trooper, and we'll just play it one inning at a time.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Thank you, Holly. As Coach Candrea likes to say, as long as we have innings, we have outs. They'll be coming up at least 3 more times. Kenzie Fowler thus far, 3 innings of work, 64 pitches. Has allowed a couple of runs off the bat of Megan Langenfeld with the home run and the RBI single. And she will face Danny Uden here in the bottom of the 4th, 6, 7, and 8. Call her what you want, the savior, the franchise, all kinds of nicknames for the freshman Kenzie Fowler, who grew up in Tucson, born and raised there to parents who have been longtime season ticket holders. She told us the other day she's been going to games since she's a baby. They'd lay the blanket right down at their feet by their seats, and she'd hang out there as a kid and watch the games. Still season ticket holders today. And has always been a big fan of Wildcat softball. One and one to Uden. Andrea has talked so much about how she hasn't tried to do too much, not tried to live up to anyone's expectations but her own, and she sets the bar high herself. She said, I love playing in my hometown. I know the kind of pressures that are going to come with that, and that's what I want. That's why I went there. And all the great pitchers they have had at Arizona over the years, starting with Debbie Day and Susie Parra, to Alicia Hollowell and Taryn Mowat. Fowler hopes she's the next in line. The walk, though, to Danny Uden. Kenzie over on the right-hand side, always an Arizona fan, and a picture with Jenny Finch when she was there at Hillenbrand Stadium in Tucson. And of all the people that have probably had their picture taken with Jenny, how many get the opportunity to now step where she has stepped and pitch off the same pitching rotor here in Oklahoma City, where Finch won the championship in 2001. There's her mom, Kelly Fowler. They've had to deal with injuries and a condition known as thoracic outlet syndrome that at one point threatened her life in high school, and that's foul. Off the bat of Julie Burney. Beth Mowens, along with a couple of Olympic gold medalists, Michelle Smith, as well as Jessica Mendoza. You've had a chance to play against these teams during your career, to play with and under Coach Mike Candrea and Kelly Inouye Perez. What do you guys think of when you think of this rivalry?
Well, I think it's phenomenal. I mean, as you mentioned, all the alum that have come through these two programs, and I've played on the national team with quite a few of them. It's an honor to get back here and see these two schools, these two programs going at it again, especially since it's been a while since they've won their last national championships.
And pregame, Jessica, you've been texting and working the phones, talking to some of the alums of these two programs.
Well, it's such a great rivalry, and I love hearing about it. Even playing in the Pac-10 at Stanford, I would anticipate, okay, the UCLA-Arizona matchup, it's coming up, but talking to Stacey and Stacey Newman and Jenny Finch today, and gosh, I mean, just the stories they had to tell about, I mean, Stacey talking about, you know, she even started to hate the color navy blue and red just because of that rivalry, and it didn't matter who Arizona was playing, she was never going to root for them.
Leo O'Brien was telling me this afternoon that, you know, on Facebook, it's amazing, the alum from both sides are just really going and, you know, chatting stuff up on both ways. Who's going to win? I'm going to watch the game tonight. Who's going to do what? Yeah, we got a great freshman in the circle. We have a senior in the circle. And it's just great to see all the excitement of these two programs trying to get back on track or adding another national championship to their bookcase.
They have such a big imprint on this championship. Fowler is trying to join 3 Bruins, the only freshman to pitch and win national championship games. Debbie Doon, Tiffany Boyd, and Heather Compton all did it. Amanda Freed pitched in the '99 final, shared the game with Courtney Dale, who actually got the official win, and then rookie Jelly Selden for UCLA lost to Michigan in the first championship series played back in 2005. Full count to Julie Burney. And she singles out to left. Couple on for the Bruins with nobody out. Let's go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, you talked about that thoracic outlet syndrome that Kenzie Fowler had. And guys, it was a very scary situation. She was pitching in high school when one day her arm turned blue. She went to her coach. They got her to the hospital quickly, and she had life-saving emergency surgery where they had to take out one of her top ribs. She showed us the scar on her chest. It's a big 4-inch scar. And she said, you know, it was really scary. I didn't realize how scary till my mom started crying.
she recovered from that. Everything was going well, but then in Super Regionals, she took a hard line drive off the arm against BYU, and Arizona wasn't taking any chances. They took her out of that game. They wanted to get x-rays because that syndrome is exacerbated by pitching and it causes blood clots. They just wanted to be sure. She's been cleared to play. She has a pretty nasty bruise under that wristband that she's wearing, but boy, this young lady has gone through an awful lot medically just to be standing in that circle.
Yeah, Holly, and even before that injury, she was having some issues with some numbness in her arm. They were very worried about her. They got her checked out. They found out it was mostly a pinched nerve in her neck, so they took a good look at her and made sure that she was cleared and ready to play. And for a while there, regionals, going into regionals, a lot of people.
It was actually the UCLA series that had first flared up at the end of the regular season.
Absolutely, and in going into the, I remember at the selection show, we were talking about the fact, would Arizona have someone to pitch, because there was the problem with Kenzie Fowler and their backup pitchers were also hurt, and it was really for a while there, we were wondering if Arizona was going to actually have anyone in the circle they could compete with.
She only pitched 4 innings in that UCLA series. So the Bruins really haven't seen much of her this season. The walk to Danny Uden, the base hit for Julie Burney. Kayla Shull was a strikeout victim back in the second, and a 1-1 count here against Fowler.
Beth, getting back to that, Sarah Akamine had hurt her knee. Fowler's injury, nerve numbness in her arm was an issue, and it's amazing to think now all of a sudden here they are playing for the national championship. And the thing that I respect the most about Kenzie Fowler is that she does not act like a freshman in that circle, and I think a lot of that has to do with that thoracic outlet syndrome and what she went through. When you go through a sort of injury or an illness where it's life-threatening, I think it puts the game in perspective that it is just a game.
1-2 to Shull. Missed it away, 2-2. Uden staying in the game at second base because she had already been lifted for a pinch runner back in the second inning. You are allowed to be lifted once and can re-enter the game. And if you're taken out a second time, you cannot return. Another 2-strike count. Tonight they're 4-11, including the Langenfeld home run with 2 strikes. Fowler has already struck out 5 as well. Gets number 6, 1 down. The NCAA Women's College World Series continues on ESPN2 tomorrow night. It's game 2 of the best of 3 with UCLA and Arizona. The NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One on ESPN2 Tuesday at 8 Eastern. A wild NCAA tournament that has seen the top 4 seeds eliminated, 2 of them prior to the World Series. We were oh so close to a semifinal yesterday between a 15 seed and a 16 seed. But if you talk to the folks in Westwood and in Tucson, order has been restored to the college softball world with these 2 powerhouses clashing for the national championship. Uden at second, Burney at first, the bottom of the order trying to spark something here for the Bruins. Fowler struck out B.B. Bates in the second. Bates' only home run at the World Series was a home run yesterday against Georgia. Two to Bates. Fouled out play. BB, the freshman from Victorville, California, had some big shoes to fill with the injury earlier this season to their veteran center fielder, Katie Schroeder, who is out with a leg injury. And her settling into that role has given them some stability in the outfield. As Fowler misses high, full count. Young lady who's always coming to practice early, staying late, putting in the extra time. Strikes her out. Number 7 for the freshman, 2 down. Coming back strong after the walk and the single.
Kenzie Fowler continuing to throw harder as the game goes on. You can see this screwball. It's going to come up and away. Take a look at that movement, the way it's just going to move away from Bates. Can't catch up to it. I think Kenzie Fowler, the more she throws, the more relaxed and loose she gets, the harder she is to hit. She is just really battled here in the Women's College World Series.
Well, and the other thing, too, mentally, is she hasn't had to deal with the illegal pitches that have plagued her earlier in the World Series. Just the one called on her tonight in 91 pitches. Now facing Gianna Desalle in the top of the order. She doubled and scored in the 3rd inning. Rounded out back in the 1st.
Talked about the pitch count of Fowler. 92 pitches now here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Already a very high pitch count. As we saw yesterday, she just seemed to get stronger as the games went on. Took her out early against Tennessee in game 1 when they got the lead. Came back with her in game 2.
3 innings on Thursday, 14 innings on Saturday, 11 innings yesterday for Fowler. Opposite for DeSalvatore. Lestraps is there, side is retired. A couple left on for UCLA. The freshman staying strong, but it's the Bruins by 1.
The end of the journey is near. 8 teams arrived in Oklahoma City with championship dreams. Tonight, only 2 remain. Softball's historic rivalry. Pac-10 powerhouses. Tonight, for the national championship at the 2010 Women's College World Series.
The 2010 Women's College World Series down to the final 2 teams. It's game 1, best of 3 for the title, with UCLA leading Arizona 2-1. Freshman pitcher Kenzie Fowler with 7 strikeouts. Megan Langenfeld has been the difference for UCLA with a solo home run. She also drove in the other run with a single. And the Bruins now add to their NCAA record here at the World Series with 9 home runs in 3.5 games here in Oklahoma City. 22 appearances for Arizona, 24 for the Bruins. A combined 18 national championships for Arizona. Their last win in '07, they went back-to-back. And for UCLA, believe it or not, as good as they have been, this is the longest drought for them in championship history. They have actually had a couple classes graduate without a ring. Their last one coming in 2004, when they also went back-to-back. That memorable '03 series when Natasha Watley and company beat Kat Osterman in Texas, and then in '04, Kira Garrow throwing the no-hitter in the final. To short, Garrison throws out Buchanan. As advertised, Jessica, home runs, the difference for UCLA, and Arizona able to hang tough with the pitching.
Well, and that's been one of the biggest approaches for Arizona tonight, is knowing they're going to face a tough pitcher in Langenfeld. Utilize the ground as their best friend. That's what Mike Kendrea has told them. That's been the game plan. Just being able to put the ball in play, this ground is hard enough. That's what we've been doing all year.
Comebacker to Langenfeld, 2 down. Here's Holly Rowe with more.
Well, Megan Langenfeld is such a committed young lady. When she was in high school, all the way from 7th grade on up, she had to drive 2.5 hours each way to practice. So she came up with a creative solution. Her dad, Steve, and mom, Tracy, they'd do the driving. But when she was in the car, she bought one of these, a miner's hat with a light, so she could do her homework in the car. Pretty creative solution for this young lady, but guys, I think it paid off. She was a 4.2 student and graduated top 10 in her class in high school, juggling both academics and softball.
That's great stuff, Holly. That's why she's the Hall of Fame Stadium reporter right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was about a 2.5-hour drive one way from Bakersfield down to Southern California, where she would play all weekend and stay at a relative's house and then make the drive back home on Sunday night for school on Monday morning.
Well, and talking to her about it, you know, because we had that hat and we were showing her and she was laughing and she's like, okay, I know it sounds dorky, but she's like, it makes sense, right? You have 5 hours both ways, like why not utilize the time? And she said it's so sweet, like, yeah, of course. Most people will probably sleep or get on the video game. Megan Langenfeld tells you a lot about her personality. Yep. Take advantage of the time.
Absolutely, her work ethic.
They are in finals, by the way, at UCLA, so a handful of these players have to take final exams while they're here at the World Series. 2-2 to Lauren Schutzler. She did not go around.
Beth, actually, a bunch of the UCLA players have a final tomorrow, and they were sitting there thinking, gosh, they're getting prepped for the game, and I'm wondering, are they nervous? What are they thinking about? And it almost helps them that they are in school, because a bunch of them were studying. So rather than thinking so much about the game, they're focused on chemistry, physics, English.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a positive distraction.
Schutzler draws the walk, a base runner with 2 outs. Kaylee Arredondo will step in now. She walked and scored in the first, flew out to center field in the third. The senior, the only player on either roster that actually played in a championship series. She did it as a freshman back in '07. Started out in left field. She went 1 for 9 in that championship series. She's been their leader. She's going to become a police officer after she graduates.
Well, Beth, part of that leadership is reminding Arizona throughout the season, throughout the offseason, of how they lost last year. 14-0. That was the final score of the Alabama game. And would they be doing shuttle runs? She'd just yell, hey, 14-0, 14-0. And that would be the trigger to get them going.
The throw down to first base, Schutzler diving back in safely. The last 2 years, Arizona 0-2 at the World Series, and that loss to Alabama here last year, the worst in school history.
Well, and I think one of the things that's really amazing is to think that there were juniors on this Arizona team that had never won a game at the College World Series.
They're trying to put together the 2-out rally here in the top of the 5th. The walk to Schutzler and Arredondo on base for the second time tonight. She said, we are sick of 2 and barbecue. We want to stick around a while longer, and the goal for every Arizona team should be to win a championship, and she wasn't sure that's exactly what they had on their minds the last 2 trips here.
Well, and I think a bunch of that comes with expecting to be here, expecting to win. We talk about tradition. Well, tradition only carries over if you carry over that same mindset. You can't just expect because people before you did it that you're going to do it. You have to earn it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jess. And I think the other thing, too, is a lot of these programs that have been very successful here at the Women's College World Series, that experience really helps play off year after year. And both of these teams now, not a lot of experience playing in the championship series. So on that point here, I think they're pretty evenly matched. It's not like one of these programs was playing here last year or 2 years ago. I mean, as you mentioned, Beth, Arizona in and out the last 2 years. In fact, even when they lost their first game on Thursday, it looked like potentially they could go 2-Q again, but now they've had 4 wins in a row.
Cleanup hitter Stacey Chambers, the 1-1 pitch from Langenfeld. Drills it through the right side. They are waving the runner home. Schutzler ties it up. A walk and a couple of hits, all with 2 outs, and we are even at 2 apiece.
Take a look at the way that Chambers just gets her hands right through. You can see right here, look at the way she comes through. Her bat head very flat, turns on the pitch.
And BB Bates waits on this ball. You see when she goes down to field it, she fields it in the middle of her body, not do or dying the ball. That's the difference of being able to throw out Lauren Schutzler at home.
Stacey Chambers able to take the inside pitch and pull it through the right side. Even at 2 apiece. In the middle of this Arizona lineup, there are 4 to 8 hitters who struggled mightily. In their first 3 days here, they were 1 for 38. Yesterday, they drove in 7 runs as they came back strong. And now they've done it again tonight. An RBI single for Chambers, the other RBI single from the batter right here, Bridget Del Pawnee. Becca Tyke is the pinch runner out at second base. Stacey Chambers can re-enter. Inside to Bridget, dusts herself off. One thing you know about Langenfeld, when she has a pitch she likes, she tends to stick with it, and she loves coming inside to the righties with the screwball. Del Pawnee, the roller to Harrison makes the play at short. A couple left on for the Arizona Wildcats. But Stacey Chambers, you want to hit the inside pitch like she just did? Learn from one of the best in the world. Jessica Mendoza is going to show you how when we come back to the World Series. Game 1 of the best-of-3 championship series here in Oklahoma City. Arizona and UCLA even at 2 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Let's take a look at a Home Depot coaching clinic. Jessica Mendoza explaining how they hit the inside pitch.
First thing is you want to make sure that you're early, that your weight transfers back early, and then when you start your hands, you stay close to your body as possible, staying inside the ball, making contact with the ball out in front of the plate. From here, your follow through will take care of itself.
The Home Depot coaching clinic with Jessica Mendoza. We might see an inside pitch to Megan Langenfeld. She's due up second. Monica Harrison to lead it off. It's 2, 3, and 4 in the order to face Kenzie Fowler, the freshman for the Wildcats. Her pitch count now at 95, about half of those strikes. Bruins got a home run from Langenfeld in the first, and then the RBI single from Megan, scoring Gianna Desalle in the third. Ten national championships for the Bruins, 8 for the Wildcats. One of the great rivalries in all of college athletics as they meet for the 7th time to decide the national championship. Trying to lay it down, it's foul. Monica, the junior from Garden Grove. She and her sister Andrea growing up together playing the game. They used to play home run derby in a park across the street from their house over at Patton Elementary School. Their mom would be peeking through the blinds in the house to make sure the girls were okay. They went on to star at Pacifica High School, where they have since followed some of the other legends that have moved on to play at these 2 schools, including Jody Legaspi and Amanda Freed at UCLA, Tony Mascarenas, Tori Awelua, who have since suited up for Arizona. How about that heritage from one high school in SoCal?
Well, and then even Kristen Areola playing second base for Arizona, they played with her as well, and so you just find so much of this within the tradition and then on the field.
One of the things we're seeing too, and I think the reason why both of these teams are here, how many full counts have we seen? The duel between the pitchers and the hitters, fouling off pitches they don't like. The pitchers trying to pull the string on them. Harrison lifts that one out to center field. Schutzler back to the track, makes the catch. One away. And here comes Megan Langenfeld with the home run and the RBI single tonight.
One of the things that Megan does so well on this home run is she gets those hips clear. You can see the way, look at the way she has her hips clear right here and contact, head down right there. Look at the elbow angle right there. She keeps those hands inside the ball, and because she's able to do that, she gets those hips clear and just gets that bat head extended through, drives that ball out of the park.
And then what I love about her last at bat is the fact they're picking away. They come back inside and they get her jammed. That's exactly what they want to get, but she ends up getting a base hit anyway.
Impressive numbers here at the World Series, including a couple of home runs for Langenfeld. The Bruins now have hit a home run in 20 of their last 21 games, and their NCAA tournament total is up to 26 in this, their 9th game of the postseason. Two-one from Fowler.
And I think one of the things that really has made UCLA so powerful this year is that they do a great job of hitting the pitch that comes. So when an outside pitch is thrown to them, they will drive that ball opposite way. If it's an inside pitch, they'll turn on it. Case in point, outside pitch, Langenfeld gets her hands extended, drives it right back into the field of play. It's that short two, long follow through, and that's one of the things I like to talk to kids about all the time, is get those hands really quick, short to contact, a really short swing to contact, and then a long follow through to drive that ball into the field of play.
Third hit of the game for Megan Langenfeld. Beth Mullins, along with a couple of Olympic gold medalists, Jessica Mendoza and Michelle Smith, who have been working the phones today, talking to a lot of the alums. You guys growing up, softball fans, you've watched this rivalry over the years. I think Mike Candrea summed it up best today when he called it a rivalry based on respect, Jessica.
Definitely, and that's something when you see these two teams, it's not just that hatred or enemy, it's more the fact that off the field they know that they do so similar things. They have the work ethic, they put the hay in the barn, and when they come out in a competition like this, they come to compete. So that respect is definitely there.
And Michelle, I think it's even more impressive now in this day and age when we've seen parity and talent spread all across the country. 6 first-time winners in the last 12 years, and yet these guys are back again in the finals.
Well, absolutely, and you know that, like the old Chinese proverb says, iron forges iron, and you know it really comes down to that. The Pac-10 very, very strong. These teams play each other and beat each other up all year long, and that is great preparation for the postseason. We're starting to see that more now in the SEC, also in the Big 12, but by far the conference that really has the advantage when it comes to the strength would be the Pac-10.
Arizona has won 67% of its games here at the World Series over the years. UCLA, 75%. The two dominant forces, 64 miles an hour from Fowler. 2-2 the count. Andrea Harrison has 3 home runs in the series. One more would set a new record. Harrison trying to go opposite. Lestrap's on the run. That falls in fair. Langenfeld had to hold to see if it would be caught or not, but she's able to motor all the way around the third. Harrison with her second hit, and there's a pair of Bruins now in scoring position.
Well, Michelle, you've talked about this, and Langenfeld right here is holding because you cannot tell if Lestraps is going to catch this or not. And you know with an outfield like her, she's got a shot at that. So Langenfeld doing a great job. That's perfect. You want to get right to the bag, and easily she's able to get to third base. She would also be able to get back easily if it was caught.
And we saw the importance earlier in this series of stopping before second base, because if you round second and head to third, you've got to go back to second on your way to first if the ball is caught.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen the athletes cut through the infield and head right back to first, and well, you're out. You got to go back and touch second and then head back to first.
Saw a Hawaii runner called out trying to do that earlier in the series.
And we also saw a Tennessee runner yesterday, almost the same exact type of play. Brittany Lestraps makes a great play. She did not wait to see if the ball was going to be caught. She already came around, scored, and then they doubled her off at second base.
Teresa Wilson, the pitching coach, will head out to talk with Fowler and Chambers.
And Michelle, you were talking earlier about what you're impressed about UCLA hitters. We showed Langenfeld pulling the inside pitch, but Andrea Harrison on that last one, I mean, you can't get more picturesque. Ball's on the outside part of the plate, and you drive it exactly where it's hit. You're not trying to pull that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a pitcher throwing against a team who does that, you have no place to hide, because typically the lowest batting average when you dissect the strike zone is the low outside pitch. Well, as a pitcher, when I'm thrown to that low outside corner and it's getting hit and charged the opposite way, as a pitcher I go, okay, I have nowhere to hide. You have to own that inside corner, go to the outside corner, and when teams are hitting that, you don't know what to do.
And guys, 5 of their 7 hits tonight are on 2 strike counts. Caruso has struck out twice.
Well, the part that I love about what UCLA is doing this year is that the coaching staff has said, with 2 strikes, I physically want to be able to see a change in your mechanics. You need to make an adjustment, whether or not it's up in the box or choke up on the plate. Do something so that I can physically see with 2 strikes what you're doing to make the adjustment. And you can see right here with 2 strikes that Caruso is choked up just a little bit.
Called strike 3. The 3rd time Fowler gets slamming Sammy tonight. 2 down.
Kenzie Fowler continuing to work that screwball in the outside corner. She paints it, gets it on the plate, and lets it move out of the zone. And that's what you want to do with breaking pitches. You want to start it at the strike zone and let it break away.
8 strikeouts now for the freshman Kenzie Fowler. Danny Uden, who has walked twice, steps in. Megan Langenfeld at third base. Andrea Harrison at second. Go-ahead run is 60 feet away for Danny Uden. The Bruins threatened with runners in scoring position in the 2nd and in the 4th inning, and Fowler responded with back-to-back strikeouts. Similar situation here. 2 in scoring position. She just struck out Caruso. And she gets Uden too. The moxie of the freshman. Number 9 for Kenzie Fowler. We are still tied at 2-all, headed to the 6th inning in game 1 of the series.
The UCLA-Arizona rivalry, I mean, combining for 18 of the last 25 championships is unheard of.
I would compare it to Celtics, Lakers, Red Sox, Yankees. It's history. It's what's made softball.
Both programs expect to be here. We expect for it to be a great battle.
It's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be fun and exciting, and there's going to be, a lot of heart put into it.
The first of at least 2, possibly 3, to decide the national championship. UCLA and Arizona tied at 2 as we head to the top of the 6th. Bruins head coach Kelly Inouye Perez just a moment ago addressing her team.
Winning this ball game, we're letting that inning go. We're going to get back out there and do the defense. We're going to get back here. Nothing. If just having that inning is going to affect what happens from this point forward. You take it 1 pitch at a time. We stick to what got us here. Right now, everybody take a deep breath. Let's go. All right. Head out. You play your game. Now you get out there and you take it 1 pitch at a time. Let's go. Come on.
What affected the Bruins in the last inning that she was referring to has actually happened in 3 different innings with a runner in scoring position. Kenzie Fowler has struck out Bruins back-to-back to end the inning. And now they're out there with the gloves, and Arizona coming up in the top of the 6th.
Well, and UCLA hitters right now just looking a little different than normal. They're more less aggressive. They're more on their heels, just kind of waiting for the umpire to call a pitch. And even when they're swinging and striking out, it's not that all-out powerful swing we've seen from them all tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first 3 games of this tournament, they've been very loose, relaxed. Their swings have been long and extended. They're a little bit tighter here tonight. Well, it could be the nerves. First game of the championship series. Again, no experience on this team playing for an actual national championship.
Lena Correa 6, 7, and 8 for Arizona. The bottom 4 batters do not have a hit tonight for the Wildcats. They first met in the finals in 1991. 5 times during the 90s they played for the championship. The last time they got together in the finals, Arizona a winner in 2001. Jenny Finch wrapped up a perfect season, 32-0, and Lindsey Collins hit a solo home run in the 4th inning of that game in a 1-0 victory. Two to Correa.
And we talked a lot about special alumni. Lena Correa, her cousin, Linnea Manuma, who is one of the best hitters to come through Arizona. I got to play against her, and she hit probably the farthest ball I've ever seen hit. She's definitely passed that down to Lena Correa, who has a lot of power as well.
Waits on the changeup and drops it into center field. Leadoff on board for Arizona in the 6th. And as we wind down the Women's College World Series, we'll pass it off to the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa, which gets underway Friday morning at 9:30 on ESPN. It's South Africa and Mexico, Uruguay and France at 2 in the afternoon. The FIFA World Cup on ESPN on Friday. And those, of course, would be your tune-ups for the United States and England, starting out group play on Saturday. Coverage will begin on ABC at 1:30. Little small ball. The only play for Bernie is over to first. The sacrifice from Areola gets her into scoring position.
Looks like Candrea is going to make a change here. Sometimes you wonder, well, why not pinch run early in the at-bat or when the runner's at first base. Sometimes some coaches want to make sure that the runner can get to second. You don't like to put in a pinch runner sometimes, and then they get burned on good defensive play, getting thrown out at second. So sometimes you'll see some different changes, or even with pinch hitters as well. You'll bring in a pinch hitter. You want to make sure that runner gets down to second base.
Candrea will go to the bench and bring in a new bat. The World Series, they were shut out 9-0 in their first game here, and went 35 innings over 3 years at the World Series without an earned run, but the bats have come alive in their last 4 games. Freshman Maddie Hack out of Katy, Texas, on to pinch hit here for Bailey Kirker in the 8th spot. And what Mike Candrea dipping into what he calls his database of knowledge collected over 25 years, and 22 of them here at the Women's College World Series. He's made a lot of right moves over the years at Arizona and with the U.S. Olympic team.
Well, and especially getting later into the game, tie game, the one thing Candrea is so good at, he finds ways to score. We saw him win it against Tennessee without a ball leaving the infield. And how he does that, he utilizes his base runners. He talks about, even before today, you put the ball in play. Give me ground balls. Don't give me strikeouts. He can work with that. He can use speed. You make errors happen. You take advantage of situations. Now, all of a sudden, you have that critical one run that gets you the win.
0-2 to Hack, just enough of it. His philosophy at the World Series doesn't waver. He's gotten good pitching. The defense has been solid, and now he's looking for the timely hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk a lot about, even if you don't get the hit, to have a productive at-bat, have a productive out if you are in fact out. So try to put the ball on the ground, right side, move your teammate up 60 feet. If she's at first base, moving her into scoring position. If, say, you don't get the bunt down and you're given the bunt. Just those little things that allow the big things to happen. The little things of moving people that allow the big thing, the victory, to happen. I think the other thing that we've seen, too, is the utilization of a role player. 10 years ago, you didn't have as many role players. You had your starters and then you had your bench. Nowadays, you have role players. You'll have defensive specialists. You'll have pinch running specialists. You'll have pinch hitting specialists that will then come in to play defense late in the game. And you're seeing clubs start to use these type of athletes more efficiently.
Langenfeld's been coming inside to Hack. Off speed this time for the strikeout. Number 4 for Langenfeld, 2 outs. Just so good at reading the situation as the senior from Bakersfield.
Oh, right here, watch Lena Correa. She just gave that sign for inside, and that is exactly what Maddie Hack was sitting on. And Langenfeld gives her a changeup inside. And this is where, when you are getting the sign from that runner on second, it doesn't matter location, it matters so much more off speed. It's great to know if it's going to come hard in, but you got to know what pitch is coming hard in.
Yeah, I think the location signal of that inside pitch probably helped strike her out, because she was clearing her hips and getting to contact that much quicker.
Buchanan drops it over Harrison's head. Runners on the corners for Arizona with 2 outs. And it's Brittany Lestraps in the top of the order, one of the hottest hitters in the tournament coming up.
And right there, the outfielders playing her perfectly. Lindvall right there, right on top of it, and you can see Candrea knows right away, hey, there's no way I'm sending her center field that close.
Lestraps, who's 2 for 3 tonight, fouls off the first pitch.
Yeah, Jess, I agree. I think that's a good call to hold it up. Now you've got runners on the corners. You have a lot of speed at first. UCLA playing deep. Looks like second base is open. We'll see if Arizona will take that open bag.
Look at this gap between center field all the way over here to right field. Huge, gigantic gap for Brittany Lestraps. They are playing her to hit to left field because of that screwball. If Langenfeld makes a mistake and Lestraps pulls this, that's a possible triple. That is a huge hole between right field and center field.
The screwball away, fouls it off.
And Langenfeld has to know that her defense is shifted in that particular position, so it's going to be that much more important for her to make sure she hits her spot and doesn't leave a ball over the plate. You know, we always talk about pitchers. When you miss a pitch, you want to miss with the ball moving out of the strike zone. Don't miss in the strike zone. And a lot of young pitchers will have a tendency to miss in, or the ball traveling into the strike zone, instead of miss the pitch out of the strike zone.
A .632 hitter in the World Series. An epic showdown here in game 1 with Langenfeld with the go-ahead run on third. .63 miles an hour with the screwball just outside. Full count. Struck her out. Both sides denied with a go-ahead run on third base as Langenfeld takes care of the straps. Game 1 in the finals, tied at 2. To the bottom of the 6th inning here at Hall of Fame Stadium. Game 1 of the championship series, Arizona and UCLA even at 2. And the UCLA Bruins with 105 national championships, and John Wooden so much of a motivating factor and a mentor for all of the athletic programs, and affecting even this year's UCLA softball team as they not only remember his life but celebrate his legacy at UCLA. Wearing the JW wristbands, Kelly Inouye Perez all year long, and even before her with Sue Enquist and Sharon Backus, John Wooden a part of this softball program in terms of their teaching philosophies and principles. The pyramid of success, so important. And like Coach Wooden, with his 10 NCAA titles, this UCLA softball program with 10 NCAA titles. 7, 8, 9 in the order due up. There's the old ball coach, Sue Enquist, All-American at UCLA as a player and a part of all of their championships as an assistant coach, a co-head coach, and then taking the reins herself when Sharon Backus retired. And one of the best motivational speakers you will find. Still love her keep it simple about softball, run 60 feet and turn left.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved always talking with her and visiting with her about her team. She always said that she wanted her teams to be challenged. She never wanted her teams to win the easy way because she felt like that just built complacency. She wanted that adversity for her team to go through that, because when you go and you overcome that adversity, it ends up making your club that much stronger.
She calls it putting them in the cooker. That was another one of her phrases, making sure that they are in pressure situations, that they recruit the kind of player that embraces the challenge of playing against the best and trying to be the best.
Absolutely, and the type of player that works on their weaknesses, that wants to be coached, that wants to work hard.
The walk to Bernie. Lead off on board in the bottom of the 6th for UCLA. The NBA Finals continuing on ABC Tuesday. It's Game 3, all even at 1 apiece. Lakers and Celtics, Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. Coverage will begin for you with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown at 8:30. Celtics able to win on the road to even that series. It's the 12th time those two are meeting in the finals. Boston has won 9. Arizona and UCLA for the 7th time with 18 combined titles. Is it the greatest rivalry in women's college athletics? They've got more combined championships and more head-to-head meetings in the finals than the great UConn-Tennessee rivalry in women's basketball. Amy Crawford, the pinch runner, and Kayla Shull, the catcher, who has struck out twice, steps in. Kelly Inouye Perez got after her team a little bit the last time they came off the field after facing Kenzie Fowler. 3 different innings, they have had runners on base, threatening, and Fowler has gotten back-to-back strikeouts to end any kind of rally. She said, don't let that stay with you. Let it go and let's move on.
And that's her philosophy, one pitch at a time. You know, we talk about all the mottos and everything that UCLA is about, and that one pitch at a time means forget about your last at bat. Take from it what you can, learn from it, and then just take it one pitch at a time. Doesn't matter if it was a ball or strike, the umpire, the uncontrollables. It's a matter of what you can do right now in this moment.
NCAA Women's College World Series Championship Final, Game 1, best of 3. Arizona and UCLA, the 2 powerhouse programs in women's college softball. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, and Holly Rowe with you at Hall of Fame Stadium tonight. Game 2 tomorrow, if necessary, Game 3 on Wednesday, as the Wildcats seek a 9th title. The Bruins going for number 11. And after a decade of parity and first-time winners, these 2 Titans are back to tussle in the final for the first time since 2001. The sacrifice laid down, but the throw is a good one from Del Ponte to get the lead runner. UCLA trying to move the runner, but denied by Del Ponte.
Well, and Del Ponte is all over this, and this is just knowing where your runner's at and listening to your teammates yelling 2-2-2. She's so confident, she does not hesitate, and that's why she's able to make this play.
Now it's BB Bates, the number 9 hitter.
And Jess, you make a great point. Arizona's defense phenomenal, but right here, I think that this is not the type of jump that you want. You could see very late leaving. If you know that it's a bunt situation, you've got to be more aggressive on your leadoff to make sure you get to second base.
That was a pinch runner, Amy Crawford. Well, you could see, though, on that replay how the short game puts so much pressure on your defense. All of the infielders were on the move when the ball was laid down, making sure all the bases were covered.
And especially on a 2-0 pitch. Okay, you know that the pitcher has got to throw a strike. There's a pretty good chance your teammate's going to put the bunt down. You've got to be aggressive. The only thing you have to worry about in that particular situation is the second baseman coming in behind you, and that's why you have a first base coach to tell you when to get back. And it's those, again, it's those really little things that can play vital roles in determining a win or a loss in this game.
2-1 to BB Bates, who has struck out twice. Slaps that one out to left for the base hit. 2 on board for the Bruins with 1 out. Top of the order coming around.
And Michelle, this is where the run comes in. I mean, it was almost like you were foreshadowing what was going to happen by saying it's the little things. You move that runner over to second. UCLA's on the board.
BB Bates delivers. They continue to impress from the top of the order to the bottom. That sets up Gianna Desalle. Grounded to third, doubled, and scored a run in the 3rd inning, and then the line out to left field in the 4th. Gianna in the regular season against Arizona in their 3 games feasted on their pitching, 7 for 9. She's had a hit in all of their games here in the World Series. It's fouled off. 65 miles per hour. One of the adjustments that Kelly Inouye Perez knew they would have to make is the velocity of the pitchers has not been as high this year at the World Series, but Fowler continues to bring it at 65 miles an hour plus, so they knew it would take a while to get the speed down.
Well, and that's almost where Arizona hitters had an advantage because they got to play 2 back-to-back games against Ivy Renfro, who throws heat. And so they kind of had that advantage of more preparation, more at-bats. UCLA went against Georgia, lower velocity, and then they were done.
3-run, bounced in front, but foul.
Yeah, absolutely. Just when you start looking at just what these teams have done here in the College World Series, quite a few of the UCLA players, the most at-bats they've had, obviously at the top of the lineup, would be 12 at-bats. When you look at the Arizona squad, because they've played more games, you're looking at 16, 17 more at-bats, or at-bats. So the number of looks that they've gotten at the ball have been substantially more.
Full count and foul down the left field line. Gianna out of Palm Harbor, Florida. Over the summer, she would rack up the frequent flyer miles to go out to Southern California and play against better competition. Spend the summers out there before heading home. At UCLA, the slow roller to first. Lena Correa steps on the bag. The runners move up 60 feet. A runner in scoring position in the 4th inning, they could not get her home. A runner in scoring position in the 5th inning, they could not get her home. And now the Bruins again with 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. Monica Harrison is 0 for 3 tonight. Looking to go Oppo on the run in foul territory as Buchanan can't quite get there. Crashing into the wall and a bit slow to get up.
Well, the reason you saw her slide into the walls, obviously you never want to go head first in the wall, but sliding will give you that opportunity to slow down your momentum and still be able to try to make a catch. So just great hustle by Buchanan all the way. She had 2 more feet of room. She would have caught this ball, but she slides in. So that way she's not plummeting herself right into the wall, but she's going to slide, slow her momentum down. Then if she times that a little better, or gets there sooner, I should say, she'll be able to make the catch.
One and one. Arizona would rather end the inning before Megan Langenfeld can come back to the plate. She's 3 for 3 with a home run tonight. Taylor Shell at 3rd and BB Bates at 2nd for the Bruins. Two and two.
Kenzie working Harrison inside, and then she comes with this curveball. Look at the way she's going to put it on the outside corner. It's going to move away. That ball just hitting the bottom of the strike zone, and you can see that.
Once a coach, always a coach.
Not happy about that.
That's a passionate coach, definitely. I think that's Andrea Duran trying to call the illegal pitch from the stands.
You never retire from getting on the umpires, do you? This is where they've been doing their damage here with a 2-strike count. Full.
See both sides. Can't make anyone happy.
Begging for calls.
Popped her up, and it will drift into the screen out of play. Her sister has Had some huge at-bats for them here at the World Series. 3 home runs. Now Monica, a year older, has a chance to make a big play. A rope out to left and fair ball. Show scores, Bates scores. 4-2 Bruins. Monica Harrison drives in a pair, and this one's close to the chalk, and it falls fair.
And honestly, I can talk technique to you all day long, but you just don't get any more clutch than Monica Harrison does right here. I mean, that hits probably an inch of the foul line. Full count, 6th inning. Wow, that's an at-bat.
The reaction from Harrison and then from former coach Sue Enquist. And another hit with 2 strikes for UCLA.
They say this is a game of inches, down to its last inch.
Wow, looked like a few seams were out and a few seams were on the line. Langenfeld, who's 3 for 3. 2-1 the count. Here we go again down the left field line, and there is the freeze. Look at that. On the line.
That's right, if it touches the chalk, it's fair.
That's a heck of a call by the umpire, too, to be able to see that from third base. There are not umpires here in the outfield down the lines.
Yeah, absolutely, and they used to make those lines chalk, so you could actually see the chalk visibly fly up to help the umpires out. These lines are now painted down, so that's even that much more of an impressive call.
And another 2-strike count. 3-2 to Langenfeld. The strikeout for Fowler. That is number 10 for Kenzie, but the inning belongs to Monica Harrison. 0 for 3 on the night, and the junior from Garden Grove. Not down the line, but right on it to drive in a pair.
This journey has been a long one, and it has been difficult. We've had our struggles, and we've had some moments that have brought us together.
It really made us come together and, you know, say, look, we want to win, and we got to stick together and really just have fun. If we
It's not where you start, it's where you finish, and to be able to see the growth and the maturity of our athletes on a day-to-day basis is very fulfilling.
Kind of made a promise to ourselves that, you know, we were going to fight as hard as we could to get all the way to the championship game, and we're here.
On a journey that got a lot tougher when they arrived here at the World Series, trying to become just the 3rd team to lose their opener and come back to win a championship. No team in history has ever been run-ruled and been able to bounce back to win a title after their 9-0 loss on Thursday. The Cats trying to match what they did in 07 when they lost the opening game to Tennessee and then won 2 in a row. And 2, 3, and 4, the group that started the rallies, that scored the runs in the 1st and the 5th, will try and ignite another one after Monica Harrison had the 2-run double in the bottom of the 6th to give UCLA the 4-2 lead. Megan Langenfeld trying to close it out and take the opener of the best-of-3 series. They scored on an RBI single from Bridget Del Pawnee in the first. And then the RBI single from Stacey Chambers in the third.
Still that big gap in right center. Outfielder knows where Langenfeld is going to pitch the ball, and they are just sitting, waiting to catch the ball where they expect the hitters to hit it.
All the pitches looking like outside screwballs, which would force her to try and hit it to the left side. There's another one on 2-2, fouled off. The NCAA College World Series begins Saturday, June 19th at 2 Eastern, live on ESPN HD. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Arizona needs a couple here to tie it up, or the Bruins will take game one. This is the 6th year of the championship series. Arizona losing game one to bounce back to win in 07. Michigan did it in the first year in 05 to UCLA. They lost game one, and then Jenny Ritter won a pair. And that legendary home run by Samantha Finley in the 10th inning of game 3. She drove in all 4 runs in a 4-1 victory. Arizona's win rather in 07 was that winning 5 elimination games in 5 days, led by Taryn Mowat. Lead-off walk brings the tying run to the plate. They haven't disappointed, the 2 powerhouse programs in softball history. 8 championships for Arizona, 10 of them for UCLA. They've combined for 18 of the 28 contested. Their first meeting in the finals since 2001.
Well, really just a good at-bat from Lauren Schutzler to create that walk, laying off the screwball, but you notice she battled off the screwballs that were on the plate. We've seen them chase the ball that's off of the plate, but now making that adjustment, she gets the leadoff walk, such a huge at-bat.
The only player in the game with experience in a championship game is at the plate, Kaylee Arredondo. Looking for the gap, going deep, and gone! We are tied at 4 in the top of the 7th. Experience counts for Kaylee. A 2-run shot, and we are even again.
Just what a hit. She approaches this at-bat so smart. She knows what's coming, and she drives it opposite field.
And just the adjustment that she made. Look where she's at. Look where she's at in the box. She is so far up. When she swings, she has started at the front of the box to try and hit that ball before it breaks.
Talk about a game of inches. We saw that on the run-scoring double for UCLA, and whoo, almost chipped the paint in the top of the wall. The leadoff walk hurts Megan Langenfeld and UCLA, and Arredondo, the only senior starter for the Cats, burns them with her 8th home run of the season.
Well, in that last pitch of the leadoff walk being off the plate, Langenfeld, what does she do? She comes more over the plate. Arredondo takes advantage.
Well, the other thing, too, during Right before Arredondo stepped in there, the UCLA defense gets together. You know that they're probably saying, look, this is not a bunt situation. They're down by 2 runs. We need to play the defense back. Arizona cannot afford to give up outs right now. And you're right, Jess, a lot of times after a pitcher walks a batter, that first pitch sometimes will be a little bit sweet because pitchers are taught to get ahead early. And case in point, absolutely, as a pitcher, you do want to get ahead early, but you got to be really smart. You got to know who's in the box, know their power, and mix things up a little bit.
Chambers fouls off the 3-1 pitch. Stacey has reached base all 3 times she's come up with a couple of walks and a single in the 5th. Nobody out, top of the 7th. Staring at their last 3 outs after UCLA had taken the lead in the bottom of the 6th. The response. And that's gone! Center field, Chambers! Back-to-back jacks for the lead in the top of the 7th.
And another screwball, this one moving up. We know that Langenfeld throws that pitch on 3 different planes. That one is the one that is moving up in the zone. And you can just see Chambers right to contact. Nice follow through, long extension. And the second that ball comes off the bat, you know it is out of the park. And Megan Langenfeld, 135th pitch would be coming, 134 pitches on the evening. You can tell that that blister on her finger is truly starting to affect her pitch location as well as movement.
No doubt about it. It clanks off of our cameraman out there almost, and straight away center field.
I think that would have cleared the slow pitch fence that is at about 350 out past that.
The 4 through 8 hitters who were just 1 for 38 entering yesterday's games, and they have come up huge, facing elimination twice yesterday and again here in Game 1 of the championship series. Pitching change for the Bruins, a 3-run 7th, and the Cats are on top. Stacey Chambers, the solo home run after the 2-run shot by Kaylee Arredondo. And this one was almost over and in the books for UCLA, and here in the top of the 5th, the Cats not only tie it up, but they take the lead and chase Megan Langenfeld, who moves over to first base. 6 innings of work, could not get an out here in the 7th. The 5 earned runs. And the new pitcher is Liam Macon, 21 games on the season, 82 innings of work. In the NCAA tournament, in the regionals, she was 3-0. She pitched an inning against Florida on Thursday. That's the extent of her work here at the World Series.
Now, Leah Macon is more of a power pitcher. She does throw a screwball as well, but she also moves down in the zone, and she throws her changeup on both sides of the plate, so she's more of a velocity and a changeup type pitcher. And I think if you go back and kind of dissect what Megan Langenfeld did, I think she went away from that off-speed pitch a little bit too much late in the game. So important when those hitters are coming up their 3rd, 4th times through the lineup. You got to keep mixing speeds.
Arizona takes the lead in the 1st. UCLA ties it up. UCLA takes the lead in the 3rd. Arizona ties it up. Bruins grab the lead back in the 6th. Arizona ties it up in the 7th, and now jump on top again.
Well, and talk about a team knowing Megan Langenfeld. She's given up 8 home runs this season. 6 of them are to Arizona.
Whew. Our crack statistician Karen Johns getting the assist for that one. Bridget Del Ponte to face Macon. 1-1 pitch away, 2-1. Bridget with the RBI single to get the scoring started in the first inning. A fly out to center and a ground out to short. The freshman has a tendency to chase the rise ball out of the zone, 2-2. Both teams coming in with 102 home runs on the season, a UCLA record, the 4th Arizona team to hit over 100. And both using it effectively tonight. And Bridget Del Ponte leaned into that pitch, and the umpire's gonna bring her on back. John Kernat says, nope, not only did you not try and get out of the way, but you got in the way.
Exactly.
Del Ponte is so obvious. I mean, she sticks her back. You never swing like that. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, you got to give her credit for trying, but you got to be a little more subtle. She looks like an Elvis move right there.
Full count, and Macon blows it by her, 1 out. Aaliyah Macon on in relief for Megan Langenfeld, who had walked the leadoff hitter Lauren Schutzler. And then Kaylee Arredondo sent it out, the 2-run home run to tie the game, followed by Stacey Chambers, a solo home run. I think the deepest of the tournament so far to straightaway center field. 5-4 Cats. Oh, by the way, the heart of the Bruins order is due up in the bottom of the 7th. And what would be their last chance to try and tie it or win it?
And Beth and Jess, we talk a lot about runners and scoring and how do they get on base. 3 of the 5 runs for Arizona tonight have been hitters who have walked and then come around to score. And we talk so much about how important it is to get ahead of hitters and not to issue those free passes, the base on balls, the hit batters, the defensive errors, whatever it might would be. Anytime you allow your opponent on base without them earning it, there's a good chance they're really going to hurt you and they're going to come around to score.
Well, you still see the intensity on the face of Megan Langenfeld. And what now looms as a huge strikeout for Kenzie Fowler that ended the last inning when she got Megan Langenfeld with a runner on base.
Yeah, absolutely. And the strikeouts, we've seen Fowler come through with those really big strikeouts with runners on base. And again, looking at the line for Megan Langenfeld coming into this game, she'd thrown almost 19 innings and issued just 2 walks. But here tonight, 5 walks in her appearance.
Another strikeout for Macon, 2 down. We are at the Women's College World Series. It's game 1, best of 3 for the national championship. Arizona winners of 8 titles. UCLA's got 10 of them back in the trophy case. Beth Mowens, along with Olympic gold medalist Jessica Mendoza and our Hall of Fame Stadium reporter Holly Rowe. It has been back and forth all night. One team delivers a punch, the other one swings right back. The Bruins sitting on a 2-run lead, heading into the top of the 7th, and Arizona able to put 3 on the board to take the lead. And Mike Candrea will watch his freshman take the circle in the bottom of the 7th to try and preserve the win. Kristen Areola. A couple of flyouts to center, laid down a sacrifice as well. One-two. Missed it inside, 2-2.
Beth, you mentioned UCLA, the heart of the order still coming up, and this game has just been unbelievable. And I expect this is not the end of it.
That will drift foul.
It's the way these two teams battle, and I really think the reason why these two teams are here is because they never say die. They never look intimidated. They have that confidence, even right now in the 7th inning, like, hey, I don't care what the score is. We can win.
Areola onto the grass and back to make the catches. Andrea Harrison, she will be up first for UCLA. They find themselves behind. They will try and come back against the freshman Kenzie Fowler because the 2-run lead has evaporated. Senior Kaylee Arredondo just barely over the fence. Stacey Chambers, no doubt about it, going solo. Opening night of the best-of-3 championship series. Game 1 with Arizona leading UCLA 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning and the heart of the order due up for the Bruins. A game that has gone back and forth and has proven the adage that it is truly a game of inches. Tied at 2 in the 6th inning. Monica Harrison on the line. Drives in a pair of 4-2 lead. Then in the 7th inning with one on, Kaylee Arredondo just scoots it over. Ties it up at 4. And Stacey Chambers, well, sometimes it's a game of yards or miles. That one was way out and a 5-4 Zona lead. Back-to-back for Arizona. And speaking of back-to-back, Andrea Harrison and then Sammy Caruso have already hit 5 home runs at the Women's College World Series. She's 2 for 3 tonight with a double in the 5th inning. Kenzie Fowler, the freshman from Tucson, grew up a Wildcats fan. Told us the other day, yeah, there's a heck of a lot of pressure being the local kid, but it's all I know is Arizona softball. I love my hometown, my school, and I want little girls there to see that they can do it too because I am able to do it and stand in the same place where my heroes once stood. Two-one to Harrison. 2-2. Her mom, Kelly, looking on. Could be aware that the Bruins have done all their damage tonight on 2 strike counts. And here's another one.
We've talked a lot about the screwball tonight. Both pitchers using that screwball very effectively, but I think the one pitch that really has helped Kenzie Fowler out tonight has been that off-speed pitch. It's made a huge difference to her tonight.
Harrison fouls another one off. The Bruins have cruised through the series, 3-0 coming in. Arizona was run ruled on opening day Thursday. and has had to claw its way out of the losers bracket with 2 games on Saturday, 2 more yesterday. All 4 of their runs have been driven in on 2 strike counts. And a strikeout, number 11 for Fowler, 1 down.
Kenzie Fowler continues to move the ball. This is a screwball just scooching away and up. You can see the way that late movement is going to get that ball right past Harrison. Mom's excited. She realizes how important that first out of the inning is.
The question now, can she continue to win the battle with slamming Sammy Caruso? Struck out swinging in the first and again in the third, and then struck out looking in the 5th for a hitter that had come in hitting .500 so far in the World Series. 1-1. 6 1/3 for Fowler and 162 pitches tonight.
That's epic for a 7-inning game. Now, granted, the 11 strikeouts are definitely going to pump that number up, but 162 pitches. A lot of times you want to be 90, 110. Once you start getting over 110, that's a pretty high pitch count. But one of the things we're seeing for both sides is a lot of foul balls, and the foul balls really make that pitch count rise. And Beth, I also think that's one of the things that probably hurt Megan Langenfeld with those blisters. The more pitches she had to throw, the more those blisters develop.
Samantha Caruso in foul territory. Brittany Lestraps makes the catch, 2 down. Bruins down to their final out in game 1. Danny Uden with a couple of walks and a strikeout tonight. One and 0. Two and 1 to Uden. That's out to center field. Schutzler calling for it, and it falls as the 2 outfielders cannot figure it out. Schutzler and Lestraps almost collide in left, and the game-tying run is in scoring position for UCLA. Wow.
And Lauren Schutzler calling this the whole way, but then she lets up at the last minute. They both unable to communicate. This ball actually ends up in left field. And Lauren Schutzler could see Brittany Lestraps out of the corner of her eye. When you communicate, every other outfield, center fielder has priority. This is all Lauren Schutzler. And because she saw Lestraps out of the corner of her eye, she let up.
She's trying to point at Schutzler coming from center. But Brittany Lestraps, who has been battling the mononucleosis throughout this tournament, did not give way, and they almost collided, and essentially a 4th out of the inning here for UCLA. Can they make the most of it with Marty Reed, the tying run at second base?
Well, one of the things that's so important, and Jess, you know this, when you're playing in a large stadium that's very crowded and can be very noisy, you have to use body language as well. You got to keep waving those arms to try and call off your teammate, because sometimes vocally your voice just isn't going to carry or get over the crowd noise.
Well, and honestly, as an outfielder, you always learn to run with peripheral vision. You got to look. You got to look for your other outfielders and at least see them.
And Arizona will intentionally walk Julie Burney, who hit a game-winning home run off of Arizona back on May 13th in their regular season series. And Kayla Scho, the senior from Lodi, California, Megan Langenfeld's best buddy.
And Beth, it's kind of interesting here because they're actually putting the winning run on base. This is actually a big strategy call here. First base is open, yes, and you want to go with numbers. Burney has hurt them in the past. But again, you're putting the winning run on base. Should a ball get in the gap or down the line, that could come back to haunt you. With 2 outs, I think the odds are more in your favor, obviously, but it just shows the faith that Coach Candrea has in Kenzie Fowler.
Schutzler and Lestraps unable to make the catch on what should have been the game-ending out. And UCLA, the game-tying run at second, the winning run at first. Kayla Scho, the senior. Megan Langenfeld's roommate and best friend has a chance to pick up her pitcher tonight. Scho out to right, and it's dropped. Bates scores to tie it. Buchanan couldn't hang on, and the Bruins have come back to even it at 5-all.
Kayla Schultz is an outside pitch, and she is able to pull this ball so hard. But Carissa Buchanan, very close. I thought she had it. It was so hard to tell. It looked like she brought it in, and oh, gosh, we've talked about inches all game long. There's another one. Would have been the end of the game, and now we have a tie ball game.
Candrea's reaction as Buchanan was able to get a glove on it, but not hold on, as Marty Reed scores to tie it. And Julie Burney, who was intentionally walked, is at third base as the game-winning run. What a shot by Kayla Scho. Another incredible turn of events after Arizona had tied it and taken the lead in the top of the 7th, and now BB Bates can win it. One for 3, singled and scored in the 6th inning.
And both of these teams asking a lot of their pitchers. The pitch count's very high. Third, fourth, fifth time through the lineup, the advantage definitely sways to the hitters.
0-2 pitch with 2 down. The strikeout of Bates. The winning run left at third, but UCLA taking advantage of the Arizona miscues. The third out of the inning that was not for the Arizona Wildcats. Schutzler and Lestrapes almost collide and it drops. That gets the game tying run in position, and Buchanan again a game of inches as Scholl drives in the tying run. We're going extra.
Is near. 8 teams arrived in Oklahoma City with championship dreams. Tonight, only 2 remain. Softball's historic rivalry. Pac-10 powerhouses. Tonight, for the national championship at the 2010 Women's College World Series.
Mike Candrea on the right, Kelly Inouye Perez on the left. The 2 coaches for the 2 power programs in college softball. And we couldn't decide it in 7, so we'll go extra as both teams score in the 7th inning. And just a remarkable game 1 of the championship series between the 2 teams that have combined to win 18 national championships. A 3-run top half of the inning for Arizona to tie it and then take the lead. And UCLA with a run in the bottom of the inning after the dropped fly ball on what should have been the 3rd out. And Langenfeld makes the catch of Maddie Hack, 1 down. It's the 8-9 and then the top of the order here for Arizona. 7th time we go extra in a championship game or series. Carissa Buchanan. Couple of ground outs to third base, and then the single in the 6th inning. A Langenfeld home run for UCLA. Arredondo and Chambers going yard tonight for Arizona. To Arredondo. That one will get out of play. Or excuse me, Carissa Buchanan. Facing Aaliyah Macon, who came on in relief in the 7th inning after the back-to-back home runs for Arizona. A sophomore from Upland, California. That one in the dirt. Good pickup defensively by Kayla Scholl. Scholl was the one who came up with the big hit after they intentionally walked Julie Burney to throw to her instead. And then the deep fly ball to right that was in and out of the glove of Buchanan. And the infield hit. A base runner with 1 out in the top of the order for Arizona. And Brittany Lestrapes and Lauren Schutzler are the batters due up. The 2 involved in the miscue out in left center field.
Carissa Buchanan has been so clutch for them, just table setting for the top of this lineup.
Lestrapes, a couple of singles tonight, a line out right back to the pitcher Langenfeld, and a strikeout in the 6th. This is the first time she will see Macon tonight. There's the go-ahead run, Buchanan at first. Going for the lead runner. Got her. Good play by Burney. Arizona unable to move the runner. 2 outs. This is what happened in the 7th. The 2-run home run to tie it for Kaylee Arredondo, and then the blast by Chambers to take the 5-4 lead. The game should have been over on this play right here, but a second life for the Bruins, and UCLA takes advantage. Kayla Shull driving in the tying run to even it at 5. It's been back and forth all night. Best 2 of 3, and we are in extra innings here in the opener. Schutzler walked the last 2 times she's come up and scored in the 5th and the 7th innings. She was on board for the Arredondo home run. Three of their 5 runs scored tonight came from walks to get a rally started. Three and 1. With the home run hitting Arredondo on deck. Draws the walk. 2 on with 2 outs. Go ahead run now in scoring position. Back in the 7th with Schutzler on board, and Arredondo goes opposite.
So clutch. She is the only senior in this lineup. She's got the experience, and they have looked to her this whole series. Better time than now.
And what was impressive that at bat was that adjustment that she made. She moved up in the box to try and get Langenfeld's screwball that Langenfeld had just thrown to her effectively all night long. And Kaylee had hit the ball, she'd walked, she'd had some really good at-bats, but that one definitely made an adjustment and was able to put a good charge into that ball.
One out to Arredondo. 2-0. Cats trying to rally on 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. The half swing, and it's going to work. The check single for Arredondo, and the bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter, Stacey Chambers. What a gutsy move by the senior.
And you can see it's an off-speed pitch, and she's completely fooled. But Kaylee does just enough. Look at the way she's fooled. Her hands are forward, and she knows it, but she gets that ball down. Those full swing bunts are really tough on the defense. And you can see Aaliyah Macon come over. Kayla Shull do a good job of coming out, but with the speed of Arredondo, you're just not going to get it. And I think UCLA did a really good job to hold that ball.
Chambers, who launched the rocket in her last at-bat, has the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Right down the middle, 1-1. Brittany Lestraps is at third base. Lauren Schutzler at second. Kaylee Arredondo at third. The top 4 in the order have provided the spark. Chambers heating up at just the right time for Arizona, and it's a 1-2 count.
Beth, I actually grabbed Stacey Chambers right before she got in the dugout tonight, and I was like, what's going on in your head? Walk me through this series. And she's like, you know what? I could talk about technical, but really it's been mental. And yesterday, I just felt so much better in the hitter that I am.
Looks at strike 3 with the bases loaded. Aaliyah Macon, outstanding pitch. And Megan Langenfeld, the previous pitcher who lost the lead in the 7th inning, will be due up when the Bruins pick up the bats. Macon fools Chambers. We're even to the bottom of the 8th. The bottom of the 8th inning, game 1 of the championship series. The trophy will go back to either Arizona or UCLA. We are even at 5 in extra because of a wild 7th inning. In the top of the inning, down 2, Kaylee Arredondo ties it up with a 2-run homer that just barely cleared it. And no doubt about the shot for Stacey Chambers, the go-ahead run, 5-4. This should have been the final out of the game, but Arizona could not haul it in, and Kayla Shull delivers the RBI to tie it for UCLA. Kayla getting that rally cap back on her head as the Arizona Wildcats left the bases loaded in the top half of the 8th inning. The top of the order will be coming up for UCLA, and one of the more memorable games here in the championship series in recent history. Back and forth we go, Jessica, between the two power programs in college softball.
Do you expect anything different? I mean, every game that they play each other, I mean, here we are, extra innings, but neither of these teams giving up the confidence that they're going to win. Who's going to win? Nobody knows.
Big question right now is how much more gas in the tank for the freshman Kenzie Fowler, who's pitching her 5th game in 3 days.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a big concern, and I think at this point she needs to be very efficient. She needs to get ahead early. She cannot waste her pitches. She's a strikeout pitcher, so obviously her pitch count's going to continue to rise. The more strikes, the more strikeouts she throws. Foul balls, you do have to worry about that if you're an Arizona fan.
Game 1 tonight, game 2 tomorrow. If necessary, a 3rd on Wednesday. 18 combined national championships. This the 7th time they are meeting in the finals. 1, 2, and 3 in the order for the Bruins. They have played each other 4 times this year. This will be the 3rd game that will be decided in the final inning. One and 2. Desalle fouls it off. Eight titles in 22 appearances. This is the 13th time in the finals for Arizona. 10 titles, 18th trip to the finals for UCLA, looking to end their longest title drought in program history. It's only been 5 years, but when you've won 10 of them, you expect to win it every time out. None of the current Bruins have a championship ring. The seniors do for Arizona. Two and 2 to DeSalvatore. Former head coach and All-American at UCLA, Sue Enquist, their entire coaching staff, Bruin alums, including head coach Kelly Inouye Perez, who was part of 3 title teams. Grounded to Arredondo at short. One down. Can the Wildcats clear the heads of the error in the outfield, allowing UCLA to tie it, and then leaving the bases loaded in the top half of the 8th with their cleanup hitter Stacey Chambers at the plate.
You bring up a great point, Beth, because both these programs, when you think about it, the last 2 innings have gone from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. UCLA scores 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. It looks like all they have to do is get 3 outs. Arizona comes back and puts up a 3 spot to go ahead. UCLA, so they're up on a high. Then UCLA comes back and scores that run in the bottom of the 7th. It's just been up and down, and really controlling your emotions in this game, so important.
Looked like Monica Harrison had won it in the bottom of the 6th for UCLA with the 2-run double that was not down the line and left, it was on the line and left.
Wow, look at that pitch count for Kenzie Fowler. 188 pitches, strikes, 105 strikes.
Monica Harrison in foul territory and right. And Buchanan makes the basket catch. Hanging on while headed for the wall, 2 outs.
And Buchanan just charging the whole entire way on this. That beautiful shoestring catch. She goes after it the entire way, and she knows where she's at on the field. That's the important thing. She's not thinking about diving. She's just trying to catch that ball on her feet. And I'm sure out of all catches, she probably would have traded that one in for the one last inning that was hit to her.
They, at least initially here, will not choose to walk Megan Langenfeld with 2 outs and the bases loaded. If nothing else, Fowler will pitch to her conservatively. She's already hit a home run tonight and sends that one to center. And Megan Langenfeld wins it in the bottom of the 8th for UCLA. The pitcher who gave up the 2 home runs in the top of the 7th inning ends it for UCLA in the bottom of the 8th. Her 2nd of the night and a 6-5 win as Arizona chooses to pitch to one of the finalists for National Player of the Year. And Game 1 goes to UCLA.
And they did choose to pitch her. I'm surprised they didn't unintentionally, intentionally walk her.
You don't need to pick me up.
Wow.
I thought they would throw to her conservatively, but not conservatively enough. And Langenfeld makes them pay. Wow, what a night in Oklahoma City. Back and forth we went, and the Bruins celebrate the opener in Game 1. And a win tomorrow night would give them their 11th national championship. Megan Langenfeld wearing the JW, the John Wooden armband, and she's standing by with Holly Rowe.
Well, Megan, take me to the highs and lows of this. The 7th inning, you give up 2 home runs. What was going through your mind after you did that?
I was just thinking it's going to come back around. There's going to be a time where this team's going to need something, and we did, and so it just came through.
So when you stepped to the plate just now, take us through your mindset again.
Just be aggressive. She's throwing strikes early in the count. Just be aggressive and get a pitch, and I did, so it was good.
You guys have talked all year about throwing the last punch. How much does it feel great to throw it here in this moment?
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. We still have a game tomorrow. This doesn't mean anything. We'll live it here right now, but we have a game tomorrow.
Bringing up a game tomorrow, tell us the condition of your hand and how you can pitch tomorrow if called upon.
We'll see. I don't know. There are a few little things, but we're going to do everything in our power to get ready for tomorrow.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
Megan Langenfeld, a home run in the 1st and another one in the 8th with 2 outs. The walk-off for Megan Langenfeld, the senior from Bakersfield. Let's take another look at the swing.
Oh, and Megan Langenfeld said she was just looking for something she could hit, and she found it. This is the pitch she struck out on, this screwball on the outside part of the plate. The best thing about Megan Langenfeld, you're not going to beat her twice.
Absolutely. She makes adjustments, and she hits the pitch that comes to her. She doesn't try to pull it. She keeps her hands inside the ball, drives it the opposite way. And you got to love what this kid does. She might be fooled once, but again, like you said, Jess, you're not going to fool her twice.
This one left over the wall in left center field. A big blast from Langenfeld after Arizona chose to pitch to her, and the celebration at home plate for the Bruins. And the dejection for the freshman that played her heart out tonight. And it will be remembered for the missed opportunities for the Wildcats and the ability to capitalize on the opportunities for UCLA.
And my heart goes out to Kenzie Fowler. She just did a phenomenal job for a freshman. But this Arizona team battles back. Don't count them out yet.
Well, and like we saw all this game, I mean, tomorrow's going to be much of the same. Don't think that one team is better than the other. They are so equal, and tomorrow night is going to be so similar.
An instant classic here at the Women's College World Series, Game 1 of the finals. The walk-off home run by Megan Langenfeld. Sends that one out here at Hall of Fame Stadium. And the Bruins inch closer to an 11th national championship. Game 2 tomorrow night. If Arizona wins it, Game 3 on Wednesday. 6-5 the final. UCLA beats Arizona in extra innings. Coming up next, College Football Live. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. On a fantastic night in Oklahoma City, UCLA takes Game 1. For Holly Rowe, Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, I'm Beth Mowens. Join us tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN2 for Game 2.